like that. Welcome in, everybody. For those who don't know who I am, which might be quite a few of you, I don't know how many people are here. I don't know how my view count on. Welcome in. My name is Super Trav, Travioli. If you're feeling spicy, some people just like to call me Trav. It's all good to me. You could be like, hey, you. You could be like, hey, Weird Al guy. And I'll probably respond, which like says more about me than it does him, really. But I don't know. You kind of take the good with the bad. And again, I've always said, like, if you're gonna be compared to a celebrity, I'm glad it's him. You know what I mean? Like, there could be far worse celebrities to be compared to. But welcome here. This is TravTalks. TravTalks is a little bit different from our normal content. As I say, yesterday we did 3 hours of just chatting and 2 hours of Pizza Tower, and like that's usually what the content is. But today is a thing called TravTalks. This is season 2, episode 9, in case you couldn't tell from the stream title down below or above, or no, it's down below. It's down below. And we talk about a lot of stuff. I am a therapist in real life. Now, you don't have to believe me. I get that. I work with children. But we do this and we do this thing. And what I decided to do is take a departure from our normal stuff and really get into mental health talks. Let's talk more openly about things, break stigma, things like that. And I really wanted to decide and let like guests and people, because like you can hear it from me all day, but like hearing different perspectives, different people, different backgrounds, reasons for either trauma or different types of disorders, mental health disorders, illnesses, things like that. Let's talk about them and let's break stigmas, and give people information from the perspective of people who actually have some of these things, or are at least willing to talk about some of these things in their journey. Today we got on Ferrari Key or Ferrari Fire, depending on what screen name you're looking at, I suppose. But we are up in here, and we've been friends for quite a while, actually, since pre-Tank Bro days. But I will let her introduce herself for all of you to enjoy. Ferrari, are you out there?
I'm here.
Well, hey.
I'm waiting. Hello, hello.
There you are. Look at that. Amazing.
Hi, guys.
Welcome in, Ferrari. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you very much. Yeah, so I'm Ferrari Fire. I used to go by Ferrari Key, and I do on my social media a little bit, but we are the Fire now because we're spicy. I am a variety gamer. I stream 7 days a week up in Canada land with the mooses and the maple syrup. Never take life too seriously. Love mental health stuff. So yeah, some of you may know me already.
Yes, we tend to run fairly parallel.
Mm-hmm. We stream at the same time usually.
A lot of the time, because I'm already a late night boy, but then like you're
a vampire.
3 hours ahead of me.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like on until far later, and that's always like, that's nuts to me. I'm like, it's like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
That means it's 5 a.m. and we're raiding into you?
The joke is I don't sleep. Yeah, the joke is I don't sleep. I'm a vampire. I'm the real gamer, you know?
The real gamers. This is what real gamers do, obviously.
Yeah, not even any energy drinks, just no sleep.
No sleep. No, who needs it?
Correct.
I have the blue light of my monitors. I don't need to sleep.
Yeah.
But yes, so we've known each other for a while in the Tank Bro days.
Yes, you guys were hilarious. I don't know if I randomly rated you guys or what, but I always enjoyed you guys' content. It was always so funny.
Emphasis on were, yeah, hurtful, but I get it. But
still are.
No, actually, we just did on Sunday. I did Helldivers with Cam and some other friends, and that was nice. A good little trip down a little bit.
Memory lane a little. How are you liking Democracy?
You know, I have watched plenty of it on Twitch because it's a lot of people are playing it right now, which I understand so much more now. Because at first I was like, it's you know, bang bang shooty game. They feel mostly the same to me. And then I started playing. I was like, this is way fun.
Yeah. Are you a Starship Troopers fan?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So you know. You
Oh
know.
yeah. I'm doing my part. Yeah. It's very.
Yeah.
It is such. I love that it just doesn't take itself seriously enough. As like because like, I don't know, like Call of Duty's on what, Call of Duty 47 at this point, and like it takes itself so seriously, and there's no way. Like,
yeah, we needed people just to scream at each other, kill their teammates, just a complete meme version of COD.
Right, let's goof off.
Is the answer. Yeah.
And if we want to play it seriously, we can. But like, let's just goof around and see what happens, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a good time.
So
we played a lot.
Yeah, I've been messing with it, and it's been a lot of fun. How did you kind of get started on your content creation Twitch journey?
Yeah, so I was obsessed with Overwatch during COVID. So I was inside, started really taking competitive seriously. And then I'm like, you know what? I have 5 accounts and all these friends. So why don't we just start streaming at this point? So I wish I did it so much sooner.
Yeah.
I started streaming, people started pouring in. We got affiliated. All my Overwatch friends were there, and I loved it. And honestly, it was such a time when like no one was talking to one another. We built this huge community online where you know, everyone would come for their social activities. So that was great. And then and now it's just taken a whole other boat. Now I don't play Overwatch at all, and we just do different things
now
every
I hate
single
Overwatch.
day.
It's terrible.
Yeah, they ruined it.
Damn, do you really feel that they completely ruined it?
I really enjoyed, like, people didn't play it like this, but it used to be strategy. Like, you used to have to get past the door and figure out a way and a strategy to kind of take points. Now it's just everybody kill everybody, and whoever can survive survives, and whoever can kill kills. And they turned it into COD, and they took away the tanks together. That used to be the fun part. You'd have to work together and like pick combinations and stuff, and now it's kind of like, oh yeah, I can just be DPS Moira the whole time. So
I was I'm a Mercy, and if you treated me poorly, I was like, it's Battle Mercy time.
Yeah, absolutely. You abandon your teammates. You go do their job for them.
Like, listen, you keep yelling at me to get heals. No.
Yeah. Yep. And there's nothing more embarrassing than getting killed by Mercy.
It's pretty awesome.
I'm
a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of it.
Love it.
So you started Overwatch and then said like, F it, I'm done with this.
Well,
when the new one came out,
first,
or what?
It was really, this is my one aggressive game too. So any game, you can kill me with Dixper or any program 1,000 times on Fall Guys. I won't care.
Right.
Overwatch, I will scream at my friends. I will be like, what are we doing, guys? Let's go. I will make children cry in that game. So it's my one rage game. I get one. But streaming at the same time as playing comp and keeping up with chat and noises going off and all that, really hard to keep your rank up and concentrate. Then they changed it too, and it got scrapped. Got Game Pass, started playing all branded games on Game Pass and what everyone else was playing. So now I'm almost like whatever's budget friendly and new, we just play that and try out the new games that come out. So.
Right. Which is so cool. That you kind of went down this route to just be like, you know what, like I'm gonna keep that as this. But has there something that's kind of taken its place?
Not really. It's like right now I'm playing Myth of Empires that came out in February. It's kind of like Valheim Arc mixed with Warhammer. That's like the best way I can describe it. It's super complicated game, super fun.
Easily one of the nerdiest things I've ever heard.
Right? I have more, I promise. But we did Pal World when that kind of came out for a while, Helldivers. So really it changes. We always come back to Smite or HOTS or kind of, there are games we always go back to, like Sea of Thieves and stuff like that. But yeah, it's honestly always different. I'm also a retro gamer, so I have like 1,000 games in the other room from all different systems. So I'm used to playing all different stuff. So
Yeah.
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 Mhm,
So,
mhm.
uh, what I found from talking to people, femme presenting people, or people who identify as women, is there's a ton of gatekeeping.
Gatekeep. I don't know if I gatekeep anything. What would I be
No,
gatekeeping? What do
not
people
you
normally gatekeep?
not
Yeah,
you
what do they normally
gatekeeping.
gatekeep?
You being kept from like you're not a real gamer and shit like that.
Oh yeah. Honestly, since I've been gaming since I was 5 years old, and I am actually older than a lot of people. I will literally I even took video game history classes in college, so I will kick someone's ass
I
on
want
video
that.
game
That would
knowledge.
be awesome.
So yeah, I will go pull out retro titles that people have never even heard of.
Uh-huh.
Did you know there's a Medieval 2 from PlayStation 1?
Mhm.
Because that's an amazing game. Okay, I'm glad you know that. No one ever knows that. I have
Yeah,
Legends of Dragoon back there. I
had them both.
have Gauntlet. Like, you
I had
know,
Gauntlet for N64.
it is the best, and they
Yeah.
need to remake it a good version. But yeah, I know women get like a lot of heat and stuff, but like I'm used to it, especially in Overwatch and playing games like that. Like I'll give it back
Sure.
to the gamers. People who are really timid, like there's some Mercy players that are super nice girls,
Sure.
and I kind of take it on myself to defend them sometimes because they don't always know how to stand up for themselves. So it's like, what does gender matter? Like, especially in 2024, we're still doing
God,
that. So
you'd think, but
it's gotta, yeah, you'd think.
I remember getting messages calling me a lot of very pointed at women slurs and stuff like that when I played as Mercy, and like say a game I didn't do well or something like that, and like I got a lot of like these like very female centric insults. I was just like, I'm a dude, like
yeah, it's like, nice try, but
man, someone just played as a girl and automatically.
Yeah, my favorite is usually when I got it's usually oh, so you're probably like 500 pounds and ugly behind the screen. I'm like, here's my Twitch, come take a look,
Check it
please come look.
Yeah.
Anyway, but not to boost my own ego, but it's like it's the same insults every single time, and it's like, please, I've been hearing this my entire life.
Yeah.
Do you have a new insult yet?
Can we step it up a little bit?
Yeah.
And have you found, like, I feel like that lends itself, there's this weird like lends itself to specific games that are very, I mean, I was saying it kind of earlier, like the shoot 'em up bang bang games, like, what do you think that is, that like that almost toxic behavior comes from?
I think it's the competitiveness of it, but also like there's a gamer culture. Like we know, like in the depths of Discord, in the depths of a lot of competitive games, the memes that circulate and like a lot of the culture that's even like at the Blizzard headquarters that was happening and things we see in the news. I think it's a natural thing for people to make fun of each other and kind of antagonize one another, especially when they're opposing.
Right.
I don't know if there's a way to stop that because there's just so many people that do it at this point. But yeah, like MOBAs and shooters are definitely like the two, which is nice that Helldivers is bringing people together. But I don't know where that comes from or how to stop that. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
That's a good psychological thing to dive into. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I was kind of just like, as you were talking, I was kind of thinking about it and going like, oh, interesting. Is that like is there a piece there?
Correlation.
Like, yeah, maybe not, definitely. I don't think it's a cause, but like there's like a correlation here between like very angry gamers and like, these specific kinds of games. Because like there are obviously in any like multiplayer game there is like kind of some toxic people, but there weren't a ton when I was playing Smash competitively.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, there were not a ton. There's a few. There's always a few.
Yeah.
But I never really ran into it. Sorry, go ahead.
World of Warcraft, like, you remember everyone used to kind of talk in the chats and they would be helping each other raid, I feel, things like that. I think that there's probably no like I don't know, team building things in some of these games. Maybe that's it. It's like the vocal ones really speak out. Like there's nothing you have to do together. Even on your own team, it's like everyone is trying to get their own best stats. And if you're screwing someone else up, it's like, no, that's it. We need to make fun of you.
Oh. And we were, like you were saying, like Helldivers, like everyone has like the same objective. And you have to
like
gather...
they're not keeping track of kills, really. I don't feel like people check their stats as much in that game.
We check them at the end just to be like,
yeah,
like, cause
I was better.
Yeah, well, like as like a joke, like I'm like, you know what, this round, I'm gonna throw hands as much as possible. I'm swinging my weapon. I'm gonna try and kill as much stuff as I can.
Yeah,
with my fists.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's the objective. Like everyone's going after the same objective, and it's like if no one person can do it on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like people think they can win a competitive game of COD or something on their own. They think they can.
And I just wonder what that I wonder if there is just this kind of correlation.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if exactly what it is. Yeah, it's cool. So you started this because COVID, like many of us did.
Mm-hmm.
As like Tank Bros started during COVID as well. And I mean, ours kind of started as partially a joke, because shocker, I know, but we started it because we were like, what if like somebody just like the Game Grumps get in an accident and we just happen to be there, you know?
Oh no.
as a joke, I love the Game Grumps. But like if we like, so we were just gonna start this thing. Was there ever like a goal for you?
Honestly, no. So my assumption, I was never on Twitch. I made a Twitch account because my friend streamed, and I don't think he made affiliate for like years. But I was like, yeah, sure, I'll make an account and drop you a follow if it helps you. I'm always more than happy to help friends out with things online. And so I had a Twitch account, but I didn't really know what it was because I don't really watch YouTube either. So I'm like, it's gonna be like Instagram. I'm gonna open an account. I make it like 3 followers a month. If I'm lucky, we'll see what happens. I open it, everyone poured in, especially all my Overwatch friends, and I'm like, we're affiliated. Yeah. Okay, cool. But I thought it was going to be so slow, and I thought I'd just be sitting here just gaming with my couple friends. Right. That's all I thought it was going to be. Is not that. Definitely not that. Twitch is like a whole community. There's like the kindness on Twitch, honestly, like I know there's a lot of hate out there, but the amount of people that want to support other people and raid them and get them going, like there's a lot of that in the Twitch community too. Yeah. I saw a lot of kindness. Yeah.
I definitely would see that there was a lot of, there is a lot of good. I think it's that bias that all humans have of like focusing on like the negative stuff that happens. Mm-hmm. There's plenty, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but it does exist where it like, hey, let's all raid into this person trying to get affiliate.
Yeah,
let's at least get them there. So even if like nothing happens when they get affiliated and they like don't bother or whatever,
yeah,
great. Like, we still helped them out, right?
It's the common goal thing again. It gets people excited.
Yeah, because it does get you excited. Like,
yeah.
Again, we started as a joke. We were like, let's just play Fall Guys and goof around. Like,
yeah,
we have one shitty mic that we're gonna put on the table, and we're just gonna go for it. And we just kind of had fun with it. And it was like 2 weeks, and we were like, and people were like showing up, and we're like, is this like a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Is this a thing? A little ego, and you're like, oh,
yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, I feel famous now. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. There's like a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's also like a thing where it's like, oh, people like me.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with y'all? Like, y'all actually like me? Because I was never a cool person either. Like, I was a smoker's pit kid, and I was like bullied when I was younger and stuff like that. So like, I'm like, okay, people are actually showing up and want to hang out. This is cool. These are my people, and it's like-minded people too. So, yeah, very cool.
So it's very, yeah, there's definitely this community aspect to it.
Yeah.
I love being able to kind of build that fun, let's just get to know each other, goof around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you've been there a couple of times for like when we're all like way oversharing. You know?
Yeah. It's entertaining for me too.
Yeah. But yeah, like I feel like we run into like that ego boost, and then we also have that same thought of like you said, like people like me.
Yeah.
Are you do you mean somebody, do you like the cars? Do you like Ferrari cars? Because like I get that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not me you like. It's just the stuff. You just like the game.
Sure.
No,
Yeah.
no. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's very
you don't
cool.
like me, you just like Mega Man, and I like Mega Man.
Mhm.
So that's cool,
Mhm.
but totally.
Yeah.
It's kind of that it's a form of imposter syndrome for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why even Krem's like, oh, it's cause you're good at what you do. It does take a certain personality, I think, to be successful on Twitch. Like people do think it's really easy, but like the streamers see what goes on behind. Like you work hard and come up with ideas and
Sure, yeah.
push yourself to do stuff. So it's like there is a talent there, and I think people are drawn to just goofing around and having fun and
Totally.
and being able to chat with people and stuff. So that's a huge part of it too. People don't get to see it every day.
Right.
Mhm.
I think there's like there's that piece of, oh my gosh, people are showing up because not exclusively because of me necessarily, because like they also make friends within the chat and they start talking to each other. And like last night, like two people in my chat were like, sorry, we left for a minute, we were talking in our own DMs. And it's like, that's fine. Like
Do your thing.
that's
Glad you guys are friends.
Yeah, you don't need me around.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the inside jokes that happen, you're just like, what are you guys talking about? Like, Kiso there, he has a Balut Bros cult now. I don't know if you know what Balut is. Do you? Balut is the like, is it raw, Kiso? It is a cult. Is it raw, like baby ducks or baby chickens in an egg like that? Like it's like, yeah. So like when it's like an egg that never hatched with the bird in it, people eat that. So like we have a bunch of weird ass people in my chat that bonded over that, and they're part of that. A partially formed duck embryo, and it's not raw, it's cooked, he says. So we have just people with inside jokes that like eating that, and y'all are weird and bond over weird things.
I haven't heard of that or tried it.
It's interesting.
But I might, I don't know, try everything once,
Sub-goal. Right? It's a sub-goal. Eat it on stream. Live reaction.
You're
just like, I hate you.
one of our big streams that's coming up is a bunch of foreign snacks.
Lovely.
So we'll see how that goes.
Wasabi flavored Kit Kats and like
perhaps, right?
Yeah. I see some weird stuff online sometimes.
Yeah, we're gonna do some of that. Like the chocolate that isn't chocolate, like all those weird ones. Yeah.
I wish I could try stuff like that. So I have really bad allergies.
Okay.
So usually everything's like may contain nuts. There's nuts in this. Can't have it. So there's a lot of stuff like that I can't do.
But what nuts though? Because
pretty much all of them.
Because like I'm allergic to peanuts, but like that's not a nut. It's a legume or whatever.
Yeah, I was supposed to be allergic to all of them, and I've only been cleared on like 2. So
which 2?
So I have to like test. Peanuts is good for me now, and hazelnuts is good for me now. But my problem is there's almonds in everything, and that's my worst one now. Almonds is like my big one, and all chocolate is like may contain almonds, and I'm like, guess I'm not eating that.
At least Canada's like good about that stuff though. Like they let you know.
Yeah, I started venturing down to like the States and like looking at brands of stuff I could maybe order online just to try new stuff.
Sure.
And I've noticed like they'll say like, oh, contains milk, and I'm like, there's no may contain warnings on anything. So I'll just contact them and be like, yeah, we don't label. Like, you guys don't have to label if it's in the same plant. It's so weird. That's so weird, because here it is.
Yeah,
You'd love all the nut-free stuff we have here.
Oh, I've had people send Canadian candy because here in America, I can't have Kit Kats. I can have Canadian Kit Kats.
Oh, so have you tried Coffee Crisp or Aero bars?
I have tried both. They're both delicious.
Okay, good. Yeah, because in Halloween they come in like packs of 4, like with Kit Kat, Smarties, and like all that stuff. So
and
could
Smarties
give you
are different up there. Smarties are the little chocolates. They're like,
it's like M&Ms.
They're like M&Ms that I can have because I can't have regular M&Ms. I can't even have the regular.
But have you ever had a Smartie McFlurry from McDonald's?
No, but I would.
You need to come to Canada. I have so many secrets I could tell you. I'm gonna have to like give you a list of all my brands one day.
Toronto's like on a list at this point because I just know so many people up that way. And I don't know how far you are from that, but
so I used to live about an hour away from Toronto because I lived in Ontario my whole life. So I visit there a lot. I have family there. I'm in Nova Scotia now, so it's like it's probably like a 17-hour drive from here. I'd have to fly at this point. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going back there eventually, but yeah, I'm like as far east coast as you can get.
Like literally like on the water.
I'm on an island. Our entire province is an island. I'm Hawaii. I'm the Hawaii of Canada. Just much
the cold ass Hawaii of Canada.
Oh, you're shopping for someone who has almond allergies and a gluten sensitivity. Gluten is hard. If I was allergic to milk, egg, or gluten, or meat, I don't know. I'm just gonna throw that in there. If I was allergic to meat, I try.
I know one person with a meat allergy.
Yeah.
They can't do any like white, red, or any of it.
Oh, not even chicken.
No, their body can't break it down.
So they eat a lot of vegetables. You'd have to.
They're completely vegan at this point.
Like, yeah. That's crazy. I wouldn't survive.
No, it'd be tough.
I love bad food.
It'd be tough. It's not even the bad food. Like in the morning, I have a protein shake, but that's got whey in it. Like,
yeah, and it's like restaurants too. Like for nuts and shell, because I have shellfish too. Shellfish is horrible out here on the coast. I just want to point that out.
That's not surprising.
Yeah, so there's that. But like, imagine not being able to go anywhere where it's cross-contaminated with milk or egg in the restaurant.
Milk and egg is ridiculous. Yeah,
I don't know what I would do. Common flour replacement. Almond. See, I couldn't have almond flour. Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild. Anyway, so your world, you started this content creation thing not because you were like, I'm gonna be fucking famous. It was I just want a place to kind of hang out with friends, and it turns out that it kind of was successful.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh my God, this could go somewhere. So now that you're at this point in your journey, do you feel like you're keeping it going? Like you're like, I'm gonna be famous one day, look out ninja type shit.
So it went from let's just hang here with 3 people to this is my business now.
Right.
We gotta like get this going. I stayed up, I think, just so people know how to get started as a streamer. I stayed up until like 8 o'clock in the morning after stream every single day for months, researching bots, researching widgets, trying to find everything about Twitch I possibly can, how to make everything perfect. And I just went and learned as much as I possibly can. I now know how to get into the BIOS of my computer. Didn't know how to do that before. I know like I've put computer parts in my computer. Didn't know that either. So it's like went hardcore and I loved it. It was making me happier being around people and enjoying myself. And now I don't even know what my identity is without Twitch anymore. Right. And I have goals. I'm checking my stats after every stream and we're just going. Let's just see how far we can go. And my number one thing is let's bring everybody with us.
Yeah.
Like if we're going, let's bring everyone we know with us, teach each other things, and let's just have fun with us and do it.
Hell yeah.
Like, why not if you have the opportunity to, right?
Absolutely. It's one of the things that I love about specifically, like, and I see this a lot, is you see people who blow up and then like truly feel like that you'd have to like pay them to sign something, you know what I mean? But you're like, dude,
have you ever signed anything?
As a joke.
As a joke?
As a joke.
I'm gonna put this on here.
Yeah, as a joke. Oh my God, we never posted that one. It was a TikTok, and we had friends over for a party, and we decided that we were gonna walk into this party and just start signing shit.
That's so funny.
And just start signing shit to be like, thanks for being here. Yeah, thanks. You know, like, like grabbing their phone out of their hand and like, like
taking a picture.
Like
there you go.
Yeah, thanks.
See that online later.
Making jokes like,
Totally
better not
down.
see this on eBay. Like that kind of thing.
I love it.
We never ended up posting it, but we made that like big, long, it was like a 1.5 minute long TikTok of just that bullshit.
Yeah.
And it was going to end with like one of our friends just being like, who the fuck was that?
That is so funny. So we have a plan for TwitchCon if we ever go, because I've never been. You get your streamer friends together and they pretend to be fans, like the hardcore fans of your channel.
Right.
And they just follow you around everywhere at TwitchCon. So then everyone at TwitchCon thinks you're famous. There's like a horde of people following you around.
It could
with,
be,
like,
right?
Signs. It'd be hilarious.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. Make temporary tattoos so people like put like your logo on them.
Yeah.
Be like, she's just.
I love Ferrari on your forehead.
Just such an inspiration.
The entourage. I'm gonna make a sign. Yeah, make a sign and just start following them around. It'll get them attention. It'll help us. Y'all have a good time trolling us the whole time.
Somebody like is like on their phone, like, who the fuck is Super Trav? Oh, what the like? They're like on my Twitch tracker. They're like,
yeah, you'll get follows guaranteed.
Is this person actually
you only
famous?
have 2,000 follows.
Is this person really? It's like, what can I say?
I love it.
Walk up to somebody's table and sign something and hand it to them, and they're like, "It's my table."
Are you? Oh, I would dare you to do it to a big company. Like walk up to like Blizzard or like someone like that, and just like, here you go, or someone.
Oh,
do it for like some big company. Like there's a Smash Bros channel. I'm just gonna sign this for you. Yeah, if you're welcome for promoting your product for you. They'd never work with you ever again.
Yeah, right. It's just a company I have like no interest in actually working with, so it's just like, yeah,
doesn't matter.
Whatever, no problem. Yeah, I think there's something that's like, you see these people become essentially Twitch famous, but like not IRL famous at all.
Yeah.
Like there are people who are like, you'd have to like pay me to like walk into a room, and you're like, you are like a micro niche internet micro celebrity that no one knows. Like,
yeah.
And it's okay.
Like the small Instagram star.
Yeah. And like, congratulations for having a lot of followers. I mean, the best example, right, is like Ninja, who's like pretty well freaking known in this world, went on TV for the New Year's celebration or whatever, like 5-6 years ago, and everyone was like, who?
Yeah, I like, even though on Twitch they have millions of followers, some people, people outside of the Twitch community have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
They're all over the news. People talk to them. They're like, who the heck are these people? It's like, well, no, they're famous. They're just not famous on TV or how you know them. Like, they're not a Kardashian, but they might have as many followers as a Kardashian.
Right.
So it's funny. It's like the gamer community is separated from the rest of the planet now.
Yeah.
We're our own generation of people.
And I think it's a very perspective taking thing. Like, cool, I have this many followers on Instagram or whatever, but like, nobody knows who the fuck I am.
Yeah. Like, we're not really famous. Yeah, it's true. There's so many people. That's another cool thing with Twitch, because all of us, for the most part, know people from all over the planet. Like, if we need somewhere to stay, we can go hit up Kiso down south. We can go to Alabama. We got friends. We got Hawaii. We have Paris. We have Japan. Like, UK. We know so many people and learn so many things and different types of people.
Right.
That's really fun, because normal people who like stay in their hometown and never go anywhere, they don't get that experience.
It's hard to have that experience.
Yeah.
And like, I absolutely recognize it as a privilege to be able to like move out of my hometown and stuff like that. But the world is so much bigger, and I loved being able to. I went to an undergrad where nobody knew me. Like I didn't
Mhm.
nobody from my high school went to the undergrad school that I went to, which
Yeah.
was 100%
Beautiful. You loved
recommended.
it.
100% recommend, because it was like, oh my God, I get to like, I am truly blank slate, you know, like nobody knows who the fuck I am.
So I kind of did the same thing. I moved a lot when I was younger. I think I
Mhm.
moved like 9 times
Yeah.
up until I was finished high school. And then I took off on my own to a city. So I knew
Right.
no one there. Actually, even in high school, from my elementary school, knew no one. Everyone went to the public school. I went to the Catholic school. So like I knew no one at all. Had none of my friends in my classes even there. So I had to like do over twice. So
And
yeah.
and there's
I enjoyed
definitely
it a little bit.
a different culture between like a public school versus a private
Yeah.
Catholic school.
Yes. 100%. Honestly, everyone came. This is interesting. Everyone came to the Catholic school to be more accepted. If they were an emo kid or a little bit bullied and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
the public school was like violent, and they had a lot less rules and stuff like that. All the bad stuff would happen there, and then
Yeah, it was
our
awesome.
school was so chill and like whatever. There was like no bullying at our school whatsoever, which was super cool. But yeah.
You mean you didn't have like 30 kids to one computer? Like, what's the problem? Like,
No. Our school was
we had a
new
great
though,
time.
so we didn't have a lot of stuff. So like there was like certain programs that weren't available because we were smaller and new.
Right.
And they started introducing them, like certain sports teams like you couldn't do because they hadn't gotten teachers to do it yet or had the
Sure.
programs available. So like there was advantages and disadvantages, but yeah. No, it was a good time for me though.
I mean, I was a public school kid through and through. But like we definitely all had like many we had a lot of things going on at the public school because there were 2,000 kids at my school, you know?
I don't even know how many we had. It probably wasn't a lot, honestly. We had a lot of people like portables. Do you guys do that down there? Like you have to have class in a portable?
Oh yeah,
Because
we had a few portables, yeah.
I had a lot of that. Like every single year from like grade 6 upwards. So
Yeah, our middle school had them and our high school had them. Not the elementary school, but you like stayed with like one teacher for all that usually. So
yeah. I had a different one every year almost still.
I mean like not between like the grades, but like your one teacher did your math and your social studies and your science and your history, and like all that.
Yeah.
And then you had like the PE teacher. And the music teacher.
Yeah, and the French teacher.
And Dr. Langness, who I loved.
I actually, my grade 6, grade 7 teacher, you'll love this. Long hair, listens to metal music, would play like System of a Down on his guitar in the middle of class. So
why not? Let's noodle around.
That was a beaut. Yeah.
Let's noodle around. Yeah, there was definitely a difference though. And now that I'm an adult and work with these children, whether they're in public school or private school, like there's like very different cultures.
Yeah.
And like they're all kids, so they all have like similar interests and things like that, but definitely like coming at it from different perspectives.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like differences about like what even people did and stuff. Like I think like we had like chill stoners and stuff at our school a lot, or like people who were actually involved in clubs and everything.
Yeah.
And the public school, like I really feel like they were getting into trouble and like going to partying a lot more and stuff. Like everyone was teenagers and kids doing the same things, but I do feel like all the public schools like at another level. Like everyone at the Catholic school is like much more toned down in a way, but we were also in the middle of the country. Like we had to like bus out of town. So I feel like no one could get to each other as easily. Like you have to like go back and like hang out with people.
That could be part of it for sure.
Yeah. I had like 2 separate friend groups, my day friends and my nighttime friends.
You're not helping your like vampire case at all, by the way. Like,
you know what? And I'm okay with this.
Like, my nighttime friends.
The cool kids.
The ones that sleep in coffins or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
You know.
No big deal. Yeah. So I would imagine that the specifically the Catholic side of the private school, that probably impacted quite a bit.
What do you mean impacted?
So I mean,
just who I am, or
I would say a lot of things, because there's a lot of Catholic stuff that's really prevalent, not only in today's like puritanical, type stuff, but there's, and maybe that's a little bit biased, but there's very like, do you feel like it impacted who you are today, or did things change, or was there something that, maybe?
Yeah, no. So like I grew up in religion from when I was very young. Like I even went to Sunday school when I was little and everything like that. So I'm really like Roman Catholic, like typical that.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's funny calling it private school because we don't call it that here. So I'm not giggling on the inside every time you say that.
What's it called
over
there?
Catholic school. It's just
Catholic
Catholic
school. All right.
Because like a private school would be like it's for rich people and like I don't think it's not like a like I think you pay a fee with like your taxes to send your kids to public school, like for the bus or whatever, but like it's not like you're paying thousands of dollars to go to school. Like I'm not rich. I just want to put that out there. But like I guess like if you I guess that it kind of is a private school. Like when you think about it, like it is separate. So it's funny, but it's really just like you want this one or you want this one. Like it's your parents just choose and stick you there is kind of how we see it. But it's funny because we did have non-Christian people at our Catholic school.
Sure.
Why, I don't know, but we did have them.
Okay.
So yeah, the way it's impacted me, I do find a difference as an adult, especially being on dating apps. So like there's things that I hear that is normal to other people and the way they act and socialize where I'm just like, what? Like I would never, and I brought this up earlier, I'm gonna bring it up again. Like people were talking that like girls shower together and that's just normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, that doesn't happen in Canada. It's a Canada thing. So I asked my hairdresser when I went the other week and she's like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, where are these people coming from that like do stuff like this? I'm like, we would never, like it wasn't considered acceptable. So it's like, I feel like I'm much more like, what's the word? I don't want to say proper. I want to say like, or prissy.
I mean,
it's just like conservative. Like I'm much more conservative than a lot of other people. How I am in public. And like people like send nudes and stuff. And, like everyone's fine with all this stuff, but like as a Catholic and Christian, like you're taught you act this way, you don't do these things. So like as an adult, I'm like, what are all of you guys doing? Like stop. Like
yeah.
Like, and then I relate psychology to it too, and I'm just like, oh, I see why you're like that. And it's unique from their experiences and stuff like that, and just the different types of people that are out there. And I have trouble meshing with some of them. So that's kind of interesting. It's hard to like kind of mix with those groups and like things they do or things they talk about, or even just how they interact at like parties and stuff like that. Like I'm much more like relaxed where like other people are going crazy and just doing whatever they want. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so you had mentioned earlier the dating apps thing, and granted, like that is a 110% different world for male presenting people versus female presenting people, no doubt, right? Like, so there's so much that's very different now. Like even like post-COVID dating apparently is wildly different.
Is that what did it?
Well, I don't know for sure. Again, correlation, not causation, right? But like we found like
it's a theory.
It's a working theory. So like I got married right before the lockdown happened.
Okay.
And then now we are poly and we like have like outside relationships and stuff like that while still maintaining ours. And like so much has changed for like dating in that scenario, let alone being a single person looking for monogamy, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because just like some of the stories that I've heard from people I've gone on dates with, I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah. So, like, did you originally plan to be monogamous and then decide to be poly after?
so it was kind of
Or
like
was it
this.
always the plan?
It was this kind of back burner conversation for a while. It was never like
Oh, okay.
a plan necessarily. It
Yeah.
just kind of became like a topic that would come up because we had like poly friends and we were like, oh, that
Mm,
looks fun. You know, like, wouldn't that be fun if we like tried
mhm.
that? Haha, maybe, but not today. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you know,
And then that happened one
but we were
day.
totally cool with it. Like,
Yeah.
like if we went back to it, I'd be cool, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but it's very like, how do we, you know, we just decided that like, let's just talk about it one day. Like, let's actually like put it on the front burner and talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all right, let's give it a shot. And if it ends up that we, you know, if anything happens to like us as a
Yeah.
result of this, then we have to come back to us.
Yeah. And
Like,
that's a
'cause
strong relationship there. That's how it should be, that you guys can communicate that back and forth.
it's
So
it's
bravo.
it's actually helped the communication quite a bit, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Just to be able to be like, this is how I'm feeling currently. Like, let's talk about it. And like to be, it's such a goofy like thought from the outside, but being able to
Mhm.
like help my wife through a breakup.
I couldn't even imagine that.
It's
That would be
such a,
so weird.
it's
Yeah.
kind of this goofy thing.
Yeah.
Cause like
I almost
normally,
feel like you go into a friend mode. Like you'd almost like have to like go into like just if like anyone was coming to me about a breakup, like what would I say? Like or I guess it's like comfort thing for your partner too. It's like it's just my partner's sad, I want to comfort them type
yeah,
thing.
I mean, she is my
Yeah.
friend. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel
it's
like there's a switch you like I turn on a switch when my friends are in trouble,
sure.
it's like go mode.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just
Yeah.
this funny thing. And it's actually happened twice now where we both got, and I'll put it in quotes, broken up with, or like whatever, like within a day of each other.
Oh no.
So like this one guy like got into like the one guy she was with got into a relationship and decided to be monogamous, and okay, great. And then the person I was talking to was like, hey, I feel like we're better as friends, whatever. And it was just like
Mhm.
back to back, and we're like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's okay. We're gonna grab the chocolate and the ice cream and sit on the couch together.
But we get to,
Like you still have
we're
someone.
still us,
Yeah.
and that doesn't go
Yeah.
away just because we are getting to do the things with other people.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and you know, we get to do things that like maybe I'm not like she gets to go and do stuff that maybe I'm not interested in, or vice versa.
Mhm.
So
Interesting.
it's fun little bit there. But
Mhm.
for you, I assume seeking monogamy,
Yes.
so
100%.
totally fine.
Yeah.
And if you're seeking monogamy, what is it like to date as somebody who considers themselves religious and is seeking monogamy in kind of like today's kind of like hookup-esque culture, we'll call it?
Yeah. So yeah, and I say definitely monogamy because I think when we talked the one time, I'm such a jealous person. Like I would burn your car down. So poly is not for me.
My
I'm way
car?
I'm yeah, car. Well, I like cars, right? But it's the biggest insult I can do. But I wouldn't actually burn anyone's car. But I'm much too possessive and jealous of my partner, like to
Sure.
be able to do something like that. So that's my reasoning. But I just know myself well, and I'd be a mental wreck. But
Mhm.
what's it called? So I was in a really long relationship
Yeah.
all through my 20s. So I did a 6.5 year relationship and a 5.5 year relationship. So that's almost my entire 20s.
Yeah.
And I mean, it started a little bit before my 20s, but I never really had to date. I dated my friends, so it's kind of people I already knew for a long time
Right.
that I decided to kind of date after other relationships were over. So like just connecting with friends and stuff like that. So then I was on apps for a little while, which is where I met my 5.5 year relationship. Easy. I think I talked to 2 or 3 people, found someone, chatted, done. Like in a relationship within 2 months for the next 5 years, right? So then until like 2-ish years ago now. This is the longest I've ever been single since I was like in grade 9. And um what the fuck happened? Literally, I'm just gonna say it straight out like
You
that. Like,
should,
no,
yeah.
that's why I say, was it COVID that did it? Because,
Possibly.
like, I say there's something in the water here, and I don't know if it's just here or if I just don't get along with people here. Like, I'm trying to figure out what it is. Like, do I need to go back to Ontario? Like, are those just my people? Because people are psycho. There are like just the things they do on dates, the things they say out of nowhere. Like if you were to go up to someone in the bar
Mhm.
and be like, "Can I have your children for you?" Like before the like summertime, or like, "Do you want to be pregnant by summer?" I would call the police. But that's acceptable on the app, and someone at some point has said yes to you because that's why you think it's acceptable. So like just wild things. There was one I
Ew.
told Vincenzo last night. So last night I went on an app and someone had messaged me, "I would like to thank the dinosaur that died to make the petrol that went in the car to drive your mother to the hospital that gave birth to you." That was what they sent on my picture, and I'm just like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to do with that.
It's creative.
It's creative, but I'm just like, what? Like, I'm just picturing someone actually coming up and saying that to me, like at a bus
At a
stop
bar,
somewhere.
it's a long pickup line, if anything.
What is wrong with you? But yeah, and it's not only that, it's like saying crazy things, and it's hyper sexualized. So I do not sleep around with people. Am I open with my partners? Absolutely. On stream, everyone knows I'm extremely conservative. I talk about nothing because that is my private life. I like keeping it private.
Definitely.
Behind closed doors, that's my business and my partners. Am I approved? No. We've heard Ferrari crack jokes. But now people come on so strong, it makes me very uncomfortable.
Right.
So I'm like, you feel like you guys just want to have sex and you have to navigate it, and people lie to you. And I have been tricked. I have been in like such a scheme to sleep with women. Like him and his roommate had like a scam going on to convince good girls to sleep with. And then you don't trust anyone. So then you don't want to open up to people. And it creates like a cycle of like making the culture more toxic. Cause like, if you're one of the ones that want this, you end up not trusting people more. And when the good ones come along, it's like, well, now you have trust issues kind of at the beginning. You can't enjoy it as much. Finding Christians in the first place that are attractive, my height, and have the same ideals that I would like to have in my life is very difficult.
Yeah.
Like currently, like liking someone who has like a demonic tattoo on them, that would go over great in my family.
Sure.
But it's like, it's things I have to navigate. And as well is I've never had to deal with dating someone who is bi or anything like that. And now I'm coming across that and I'm like, how do I feel about this? Is this something for me? What are my feelings about it? So it's like all new. Like this is all new things that you have to be like, where do I fit in?
Yeah.
What is my jam, right? So yeah,
Sure.
it's definitely like a new world in that aspect as well. And figuring out like more than just what it used to be. Like it feels more complicated. Everyone has more complicated things to think about. Is what I think.
And I guess do you feel like there is a big difference between like, say, having we'll call them standards versus like wants or needs? Like,
Yeah, so I like, one of my big things is something that I've come across in my podcast is like, okay, you have all these things that you want. There are red flags you're trying to avoid. What are the deal breakers? Like figure out what your deal breakers are, because no matter what, you have to deal with certain things. So as I come across them, I'm kind of like, okay, like these are things that I can probably deal with. You know, depending on how they answer, these are things that I could maybe compromise on. And then these are like the notes. So I feel like you almost have to like create like layers of like, what is it you want? What is it you need from other people? Communicating that is like the huge thing as well. It's like, don't be afraid to like say out loud, like, I understand that you don't message all day or whatever. I need you to do this in a day so that I feel comfortable. Like just communicating things like that.
Yeah.
And then walking away and like enforcing that. Even if you really like someone, like just not hanging around being like, this isn't going to work or you're going to get hurt. Like get out and there's more people if it's something that's really like, this is my deal breaker and it's hurting you and they're not willing to change or work on it or whatever.
Sure.
So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of layers there.
And there definitely is. Like, just as somebody who is also dating, there's very like, I like the idea of I'm just gonna be transparent with you up front. Like, I don't even hide the poly thing on my profile or anything. It is right there. There's some jokes thrown in, and then there's just like, by the way, this is a thing, just so you know, and I'm not hiding it. And I found that a couple of people don't read. They just don't.
Oh, no one does.
They just don't read. And I'm like, man, there's some good jokes in there. You should read those.
I'm almost 6 foot. Okay.
Are you really?
Do you know how many? Yes, I'm 5'11". And you know, same height. Do you know how many people are like 5'4"? And I'm just like, no. Like, read my profile. I can't do it.
Like, you gotta be my height or taller.
Yeah. For me, yes. But and that is like the best thing, to be honest, about stuff like that, because there's a massive poly community here. Actually, there's so many of them. I get them on my profiles all the time, and a lot of them here are very open, or they're very open that they're swingers. There's also a huge swinging community over here, so
which is different. Just so people are aware of, swinging and poly are two different things.
Swinging and poly is different. But there is a lot of things, and yes, Kiso's like 6'7". He's a monster. He's the Hulk. So
I'm sorry for all your concussions going through doorways, Kiso. Jeez. It's always about that. And when it comes to like height, like why bother lying about it? Because like the second you like show up for a date, you're gonna know.
Yep.
You're gonna know immediately.
What was your plan?
What were you gonna do?
What was your plan? Okay, so we're gonna go on this date. We're gonna have a good time, and then I'm gonna get home, and I'm gonna be like, "Well, you lied to me a little bit, didn't you? Didn't you, there, bud? Yeah, not what I want in a relationship."
A massive height difference is one thing. If someone was like, "Yeah, I'm 6 feet, but I'm actually 5'11," it's like, it's fine. Like,
yeah, that did happen to me once. Someone said they were 6 feet tall. They were 5'10". I noticed. That's all.
You're like, trust me. I had someone who was very, very adamantly, apparently, against E&M poly stuff, but like, it's literally right there on the thing, and then we showed up and started talking and stuff like that, and asked the question, "How long have you been single for?" And I was like, "I'm not." She was like, "What? You're cheating?" And I'm like, "No."
Oh my gosh.
Did you not read a thing?
I know. And that's wild too, because it's like, don't you want to know who this person is you're going on a date with? Like, don't you want to know as much as possible?
And as for a femme-presenting person, like, it's dangerous. Like, I don't fit in a trunk, but like y'all probably do. Like,
I'm gonna use that. I don't fit in a trunk. I can spread my arms out and not fit.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: the amount of people that want to go for a drive, that want to go for a hike in the woods, and then I'm like, no, and they get weird about it.
Not for
and
the
I'm
first
like,
one.
Now I'm freaked out, because why are you pushing that so hard?
Right.
Like, I had someone that would not go anywhere but a hike in the woods, and I'm like, no.
Nah.
Like, I feel so unsafe right now, and I'm like, if you're making that weird, like, I'm out, because to me that's weird that you have to do those activities. Like, just do something normal. Meet me somewhere, like,
be somewhere public first. Like, just
100%.
Middle, go to a coffee shop, go to a bar, go to a park, just a normal park, like, with people and dogs around, you know, like,
in the daylight.
We don't have to complicate things here.
No, but it's
Gee
like, yeah,
whiz.
like people get used to it, and I think part of that is that I think that I'm not sure. Like maybe you can say this from your perspective.
Go ahead.
There are a lot of like, are women just being like, oh, someone says, "Hey, you want to come suck my dick?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." Like, is that what's happening on the other side of this? Because I'm not sure. Not that you've ever done that, but is that out there? Like, do women approach you super hypersexual?
No,
No. So then
I have.
where is this coming from my side that people think that's acceptable? And in chat, has any like when you're on apps and dating, like what are you experiencing from women? Because I get ghosted a lot. Like probably 90% of people I talk to will be like, "Hey,"
Oh, I
and
get
never
ghosted
message
too.
back.
Yeah, I get
Okay.
ghosted too, for sure.
Now I go through a ridiculous amount of profiles. Okay, like I mean, like in January, February, I went through 5,000 profiles
How did you keep
just
track of
on
that?
Tinder. Difficult. A lot of
Why,
swiping.
why did you
Um,
keep track of that?
Most of them are no's.
Well,
Most of them
yeah,
are
but
no's.
how do you like keep track of the numbers? Like,
Oh, it says if you pay for the subscription, for women, it tells you how many likes that you have in the top corner.
oh, yeah, it tells you how many. It just
Yeah.
doesn't. If you don't pay
Yeah,
for
and
it,
then
it
like
doesn't
as
show
you
you who it
swipe
is.
no, it like goes down until you've narrowed it down to like maybe 100, and then you just every once in a while you'll swipe yes on one, and if they don't message you for like a week, 2 weeks, then you swipe on a couple other people. So like I'll pick my favorites and like go
Okay.
down from there.
Well,
So
you.
some people, even though I'm a little interested, I never get around to them sometimes, or I'll have like more favorites. So,
Hmm,
but I don't want to match it to me at once because imagine if I had all those people to talk to at once.
no.
Like it's too much, right? So it's like the people I have the most in common with that are like I'm the most interested in be like, hey, you actually seem really cool. I'll do that.
Hmm.
And then if I am talking to someone, I don't want to really handle a bunch of people at once. So it's
Sure.
like I want to focus on someone. So then I'll ignore all the others for like a month. So I feel bad for other people and stuff, but it's like the people I do select, like I'm serious, like 90% of them
Yeah.
will just not answer back. We'll talk a bit and it'll be really dry, one word answers. I get ghosted and I'm like, who are they finding to talk to? And like, what are they expecting?
Well,
I would love to hear from one of these people that are.
going back to your list, like the first question talking about sucking dick, right? Like, I I have never once felt the just absolute audacity to roll in on that kind of conversation. Like, you can't you can't. How do you start with that? You know what I mean?
I know.
How is that even possible that you go, you know what? This'll work. Like,
It happens a lot.
but that's
Like
that's
it
what's
happens a
that's what's
lot.
insane to me is like, there's no way that this works ever.
But then
I
why would
have
they be
been
doing it still?
I have been approached in the sense that like, hey, I'm looking for a one night thing. And I go, all
Yeah.
right. Like, and that's like because I'm okay with that and we've talked about
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
great.
But like again, all over my profile it says like I'm looking for like a serious relationship. Like I don't do friends with benefits. I don't do one night stands. Like
Right.
sorry, no. They don't read and they'll approach me in that way and I just ignore them or block them or whatever. But it's like don't pretend and like just try to like get someone who's not into that. Then you're just like ruining good people, honestly, if you lie and whatever. But it's like I just I have heard from some people that there are women who do that. Like they'll say like, "Hey, like I want to lick your butthole" or whatever, and the girl's like, "That sounds like a good time." And then they go on the date, and it or like they'll say it in a funny way, and people do that. And to me, that's wild because I'm like, are we training men or like whomever
Hmm.
to just be like hypersexual, like right out of the gate? Because I hate it. I want
Yeah.
wit and funny. Like if you can intelligently make a joke
Hmm.
and make me laugh or kind of tread there but not go there, I think that's extremely attractive because you have to be smart
Right.
and very witty to do that. And it's charming. So I'd much rather that rather than someone just your face is pretty. I want to do something with you. Like, thanks. You and how many other people? What else you got? Like
Yeah. my here's my one of the best, we'll call it flirting advices that I give is don't compliment something that they can't control. Like, you have pretty eyes. It's like, thanks. Yeah, they're
Thank you.
Yep.
That would be my response. Thank you.
Yep, and that's it. That's all you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Versus just like, the outfit that you picked is really good today because like you chose that outfit and you got to choose what you look like that day. Versus your eyes are pretty because like you don't control the color of your eyes. You don't control that kind of stuff.
Coming from a fashion person, I have never been like someone specifically pointing out something about my outfit. And I would be like, oh, thank you. Like, I would actually, that would work. That would 100% work. That's good advice.
It's working.
I'd be like, I put effort into this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Or like another one. Here's a good one. Your curls in your hair are like so perfect. It's crazy. You compliment a girl on how hard she worked on her hair. She will be like, thank you for noticing.
Are we flirting right now?
I promise. I've been in a Riz competition online before.
Talking about curls, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
So good.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, my hair's super curly. I had a fro when I was younger, when I was like a little kid. Like, I mean, like,
yeah.
There's
That's
pictures.
that's
There's
how it
photo
grows
evidence.
until gravity, which luckily, gravity eventually affects it. But it's so funny that people come swinging out the gate with such things like that. And I guess if it works for you, like, all right, you know?
Yeah.
But I just can't imagine it working for every single person that exists.
Yeah.
And like, just because you hit the ball one time, but out of 1,000 at bats, like how many, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And here's my question too. Do you meet a lot of people organically off of apps?
Well, then it wouldn't be organic if it was off an app.
Sorry, it's like off of the app, like away from the app. Like, is there a lot of people that you meet? Yeah, like organically.
I would say it kind of, yes. I'm a pretty like social, outgoing person.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big old karaoke slut. So I'll go to a lot of places for karaoke and like meet people there and like, you know, I'm always upfront about things, you know, and if I never intentionally like try and trick somebody or anything like that.
No.
But people get drunk and forget. But it's very,
oh no.
I meet some people that way, but it's still hard because like, and this is exclusively from my perspective. I can't speak for all men out there, but as you can't, it's really hard to go to a bar as a single man and not look kind of creepy. If you're with some homies, it's a little bit better because like you're with some homies. But if you're by yourself at a bar, no one else came with you, why are you by yourself? What's going on here? And you're talking to women and stuff like, what's going on here? So I've noticed that I kind of like, I'm like, if I'm gonna go, and that's like what I'm seeking is to meet people, like let me at least bring a homie with me, and it's almost like a home base kind of thing. Like,
your wingman, your safety net.
Even if we're not like wingmanning for each other, it's just like at least we have like, it doesn't look like it came by myself exclusively. Like I'm looking for pussy. Like I'm not doing anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's also not how I am, but it's very, I feel like it ends up being weird if you're by yourself as a single man at a bar, you know, around drunk people.
So I wouldn't even say like just as a male, because so here's my thing. I've moved a lot, and my friends that I did have back home, all of them are married for the most part now. So like they can't come out because they got kids or like whatever. And now I've just moved here and I don't know a lot of people. I live in the middle of nowhere,
Hmm.
nowhere near a city. Like I would have to rent a hotel if I wanted to drink more than one drink because it's too far. Like I would have to drive two
Right.
hours back home. So there's that. And then I work from home and there isn't a lot of stuff to do around here. So like there's no like clubs I can really join unless I go really far into the city and it's like things. So meeting people is very difficult. Two, never once in my life have I ever been approached by someone. Not once,
Really?
ever. At a bar, anywhere.
I find that
People
hard to
have
believe.
hung around like a group of people. I've had like weirdos sit next to me on the bus before and creep me the hell out.
Sure.
But have I ever been approached and been like, can I have your number? Not once ever in my entire life. So if I go out by myself, one, I don't feel safe. Two, I get weirdos hanging around me. So like I sometimes I'll go to concerts because no one here that I know like really likes concerts. I had like a 50-year-old really creepy dude following me around the whole time. I had to ditch him 4 times.
Ugh.
So no one else is approaching me because he won't leave me the hell alone. So it's like, and thinking about going to a bar alone, I'd be like, what do I do with myself? Like, I
Right.
want to talk to people, but like, I would be sitting at a table doing what?
Right.
Or like at the bar doing what?
Right.
So
you
I'm
just
like,
sit there with your drink and just.
yeah, on my phone. Like, no.
Yeah,
So that seems really awkward to me. So I'm like, what is the best way to go out and meet people? So I'm like, I'll
Mhm.
go and do clubs and stuff, but normally people don't approach me ever. So I'm like, I don't know if there's a point to doing that at this point unless I get really lucky one day.
Sure.
But yeah, so it's like apps. But then the app culture is toxic as hell.
Yeah, the apps have changed the way that people get approached, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And also like it's there maybe this is just a social thing specifically, but like I understand like most people getting rejected sucks. It doesn't feel good. But I also come at it with this kind of angle of if you approach somebody at a bar saying, hey, look, or like even if you've been like talking all night and you go, hey, let me grab your let me grab your number or your Instagram or whatever. And they go, no, that's okay. It's like, that sucks because you got rejected, but that's the worst that happened. Like you didn't lose anything. Maybe some time, you know? Like,
yeah.
but if you had a fun time in the meantime, no big deal.
Yeah. Honestly, my best advice for like someone trying to approach a girl, if you just act like a friend and just really funny, like don't even like overly flirt, but just be like funny and charming and witty, and don't go super hardcore into like my intention is to get your number, and just be like chill and cool like a friend. Building a friendship first like builds a lot of trust and comfort too, rather than going hard to like you're just really cool. Did you want to like link up on Instagram or something, and like we could either hang out or maybe like if there's something there, go on a date. But like you seem like a really cool friend too.
Right.
If you approach it like that, that's like, okay, you just think I'm cool. Like you're not being creepy. Even if someone said it like that, it would bring my guard down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's interest, but who knows?
Who knows? I think there's something to be said for like also the horror stories I've heard of like how far some people will go to trick somebody just to try and sleep with them. Like, oh, we're just like the best of friends. Of course we can come to your house and drink tequila. I promise I won't try anything, you know.
Yeah.
It's like that's just weird.
Let's try a guy and his roommate have a routine down that if a girl comes over in the morning, he will stand in the kitchen all awkward and not say a word to you even when you say hi. You leave to go home. The dude messages you and is like, yeah, this isn't going to work out because my roommate has a crush on you and now I feel really awkward. And like they have like this thing out like together that doesn't even make sense. And it's like, what, you can't get over that? And they do it to all the girls.
That's
then you
weird.
find them on apps later and they have children and secret girlfriends. So it's like they work together to do crazy shit like that. And I've heard wild things like
That's
I don't
really
know where the
far.
audacity even comes from. Like, yes, monkey high, by the way.
This is
Yeah,
really,
that's
that's
another one.
really far to go.
It's really far. And then you approach them about it and they lie to your face too. Like,
Of course.
yeah. Yeah. It's wild. It's absolutely wild.
And I guess I don't understand, like, I don't know. Like, is the sex even gonna be good if you don't really like each other? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you have to be in love. I'm not saying you're like, the intention is to procreate. Like, it's just like, but like, if you don't fucking like each other, but you're like, I'm still gonna try and hook up with you, like, why?
Yeah, honestly, most men who are like that, or any man that I've come across who has been like super player, super like whatever, not only the smallest PPs, but the worst in bed. So I will say that as a fact. Yeah, the nerdy kid got way better game than you do.
Did we just learn that Ferrari is a size queen? Did we just learn that?
We're not saying that.
Okay.
We're not saying that.
We're not confirming or denying.
I've slept with very few people as a comparison, but I have had interactions in my life. We're gonna say that.
That's fair. I totally understand. And it's so I don't know. There's what I've heard from other people who are femme presenting and who like people with penises is that people with massive things just expected to do all the work for them and they don't do anything. And that is what I've heard. I don't know. Personally, it
depends. It would depend. I would say yes and no. Certain people yes, certain people no. Don't think that matters. I really think it's down to the person and their attitude.
I think it is an attitude thing, right?
I've seen lazy from both. Yeah. Gonna bust that one. Nope.
Yeah. Myth busted. All right.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't even say it's accurate. No, it's just I think confidence level has something to do with it. I don't know why, but the people who just aren't really good, they rely on their personality and their charmingness, and then they got nothing else after.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they're able to like charm your way all the way there, and then
just nothing.
Nothing?
A lot of disappointment. Yeah.
So hella strong kickoff game.
Yep.
Terrible closing.
Yeah. Even if they're a good kisser, doesn't matter.
Oh, that don't matter. No.
Nope. Good kisser, good dancer doesn't matter. They can still fall flat on their face. Yeah. 100%.
It's yeah. No, that's real. That's real. That's real on both sides, I'll say.
Yeah. I hear the term starfish is what I have heard from men. Yeah.
Starfish or dead fish, yeah.
Yeah, the dead fish.
And I guess I mean, and if that's a fetish, I don't yuck anybody's yum, so do your thing. But like, I don't yuck anybody's yum. No, for real. Like it's.
Crim's been married his entire dating career, so.
Is that right?
This is new for him. Yeah. He's like, my wife is not a starfish.
You're like, babe, are you a starfish? And she's like, no, this is Patrick.
This is Patrick. No, now you can like plan that for a date one time, being like, you want to do the Patrick star? What? You just lay there and do nothing.
Not into it.
Not into it.
No.
One and done.
Oh,
yeah.
I need a little bit back and forth. Yeah. You know?
Just blink.
let's flow a little bit. Let's figure out what we like and what we don't like. Because I definitely got like scratched on my face once, and I was like, that's not cool. I don't like that at all.
I've never heard that before. I'm just picturing like cloth.
It was like that.
How would you hide that?
I have long enough hair, luckily.
Oh, just like flip it over. Could you imagine though?
I can send you I can send you the photo.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. That would
Um,
be funny. Like a hickey's one thing, but that it's like did a bear attacked me in the woods, I swear.
you should see the bear. It's very
And
a little shock cattle prod. I've seen those before for sure.
are you serious? Oh my.
I've seen them. I haven't tried them.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like in bed. This is an experience that you've had. I'm like, really?
No.
Is this a thing? The fuck?
Not for me. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, I think if anyone, Moose is going to be afraid of the cattle prod. Fuck no. Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot. But
Yeah.
there's very much like a I don't know. There's definitely something that's changed since early on even in my dating career. But like when I started dating was in high school, where like nobody knew what the fuck they were doing, and like everyone's just kind of like, oh, I think this is right. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to get mad at my girlfriend if she's talking to another guy, right? Like I'm supposed to. But I never really felt that way. I was like, well, I mean, is she making out with him right now? They're like, no, but she's like talking to Owen, and I'm like, okay. Yeah.
And yeah, and
Well,
that's
she's like
that
talking
comes
to
down
him.
to securities.
Okay. Is
Yeah,
she
like
currently blowing him? No. Okay. Like.
oh no, the words are gonna come back in cutie form. But yeah, no, I think yeah, we really don't know what we're doing back then. But I also feel like the second someone likes you, people just like attach onto each other when you're young.
Sure. Yeah.
And they do everything to make that work because they're like, this has to be my person. And then as we go, we're like, no, I don't like any of these things. These are red flags. These are things I don't like. And now you're like, I don't need to like you just because I like you a little bit. Like, I don't need to make this work. You have more options and choices a little bit, or you can, you kind of know what you want more and don't waste time with like nonsense. So it's either you find someone early on that's really your person, or it's like you then need to learn how to navigate to try and find what you want, or like deal with your insecurities until you can get to a point to attract that type of person. So we're late gamers. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Late gamers.
Yeah.
You said you were an early gamer. You said 5. I don't know. You were like, I've been gaming since I was 5, and I was like, what? Starting early.
Yeah.
No,
Definitely didn't start early dating.
No, we you don't know, and it sounds like for you also having your the entirety of your 20s taken. I mean that in like the
no, yeah, accurate. No, accurate.
Okay, accurate.
Stolen.
Taken.
We're gonna call it stolen.
All right, yeah, it's stolen. And we're like having that as like that's like a lot of people's like that's your time to date and screw around and do whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like now you're doing something. You're just now you're like, all right, now I'm like a little more aware of like what I want.
Yeah.
And very and the beauty of it is you get to be particular. You're allowed to be particular with what you want. You're like, no, this is what I'm looking for. Like I have to specify to people. I'm like, you have to be okay with my situation. Like you can't just be like building resentment the whole time toward me.
Yeah. And like knowing like how to handle situations too. So if something does go sour, if you come across something, it's like I know exactly how to handle this.
Right.
I can be calm. I can be like, this is what I'm gonna say to you if you're gonna act like that.
Not recently, it was a couple months ago. I woke up blocked on every single thing. Because we got into like a little argument before that night, and I said, hey, listen, the last time we got into a mini argument, you said to give you some space. So this time I'm going to give you some space, and I'll be a phone call away or a text away, and I'm going to talk to you tomorrow morning after we both kind of cooled off and had some space. And then blocked every single social media down to Discord.
Wow.
Like blocked on Discord, And I was like, did we even communicate on Discord? What the?
That's funny. That is really funny.
I don't remember doing that.
Last year I was dating someone who I really liked, and then it shocked me because I've never been blocked before.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been able to keep friendships, or at least even people who've cheated on me, I've been able to very mutually like walk away in a good position. And this person, first of all, the argument wasn't even an argument, but I was treated quite poorly in my opinion over nothing. And so I was invited to approach them later, which I did.
Okay.
And immediately was blocked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck? But it wasn't blocked and everything. So I continued the conversation. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, are you just going to start blocking me and not talk about it? Like, can you even vocalize to me that you don't want to be friends or end it?
Right.
Couldn't even get it out. And I'm like, words, like literally just any words at this point, because all of a sudden I don't exist. I don't know who you are. We didn't just spend like 4 or 5 months together every single day. So, okay, I don't exist anymore. And then just slowly like, okay, yeah, sure, we can be friends. And then slowly blocked on everything. And I just sat back and watched it happen. And I'm like, that's just sad. Like, it's like all of a sudden, because to me, like, I attach to people and like, I would still want you in my life if I liked you, and we just can't get along all the time.
Right.
Or whatever happened, like a red flag. And it's like, no, I don't, they're like, I don't want you as part of my life or whatever.
Right.
That's like, that's a rejection. That's like a hard thing to deal with. But I don't even see it as a rejection. Like, it's just sad for another reason.
Right.
Almost. And a shock factor. It's like, oh, like, okay, like whatever is going on there. Like, you'd rather have some people in your life that aren't the greatest for you rather than someone like me who genuinely cares. That's mind-blowing to me. So I've experienced that, and I have very recently experienced having to block someone on everything, like blowing up, going all crazy, and being afraid of them being on my social medias and stuff. So, but not communicating why. Like, I will say, you said and did all of this, and I am not okay with any of that. That's a huge red flag, and I don't want any part of that. I will tell them. Or like the guy that peed outside of the car, T-Man, as my chat knows him. Now, like, you don't piss in a busy parking lot on a first date with me anyway. But things like that, it's like I went home and maybe in the woods, you know, if you really got to go. But
the woods is fine.
Not in front of other people.
You can like go behind a tree like 25 feet that way.
Yeah, but like when there's like a cafe right there, like within my eyesight, and you just choose to pee in front of a whole bunch of people in a parking lot.
There's a cafe, like go in there. Like,
yeah. So I waited till I got home and messaged them and was like, so this happened. What would your mother think about this? And we decided that his mother would be very disappointed in him, and that was the end of that conversation. I got an apology, and he knew why. I didn't want to call him after that.
Yeah, weird.
And understood and accepted his fate. So
that would not be. That just wouldn't be the move. I think.
No, but you can still communicate to people so that they are aware of. Don't do this again.
Or hey, I really got to use the restroom. I know this is a first date, and it feels like I'm interrupting our thing, but when nature calls, you answer. You know, like.
Please go.
Yeah,
You've been doing this since you were in kindergarten. You can do that as an adult. He did make a joke that if it's a good thing we didn't go to IKEA, because he would have probably peed in one of the toilets that were there. So that was funny, but
sure.
You know, there's weird things that have happened. So if you're wondering why Fari's still single. Yeah, great dates. Great dates. Yeah, I have lots of stories.
It still blows my mind that like those things are so normal. Well, I won't call them normal. They're more common in like these horror stories. And I grant you, like, I've had just like a date where I was just like, we were just talking, and we would match, and like we texted really well, you know.
Yeah.
But then you get together and you're like, kind of boring, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think you're a bad person. I don't think you're unattractive. You're just kind of boring. And
Yeah. So I'm a little
en-
guilty of that.
enjoy your tea. I'll
Um,
see you next time.
I know your tea. So, like, I do think that happens, and I think they're like, if the conversation's really great, I will give a little bit of grace sometimes because texting's different. We're really brave, but then in person, like, we clam up, especially when it's someone that you really like.
Sure.
Girls can get very like, oh damn, like he's really cute. I don't know what to say. So that can be a good sign sometimes, depending on how they're acting.
Hmm.
Because if they open up, they will be that person on text sometimes. So I think like you really need to like look at like what their body language is and how they're acting. Like, are you just really nervous? Or are you actually boring type thing? Because sometimes like you need the right personality to like pull it out.
Sure.
But and I'm like that. Like if someone's not super talkative, I'm super chill and quiet. I
Hmm.
have someone who makes good conversation and I'm like, I won't shut up and I can talk all night. But
Totally.
I've definitely experienced both of those. So I would suggest like trying a couple things when you get someone like that and seeing if they open up a different way or if you like start certain conversations.
I
But
think, and this was just one person that I was like, that
yeah.
kind of came to mind in particular, but like, I was like, okay, well, I'd like ask like an open-ended question and get like yeah, I don't know. Or
Oh no.
like a, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
One person cannot put 100% of the effort of the conversation in.
I'm like,
Yeah.
eventually you just like hit this like wall of just like, does your like back hurt? Because mine does from carrying this conversation, like.
Yeah. And the funnier thing is they will go back to their friends and be like, you were the boring one.
Oh yeah,
That's what I find even funnier is that they
sure.
think you're the problem when it's like, what did you do?
Right.
How
No,
many questions did you ask me? Let's start there. Like, yeah. I've hit that many times, like dating an app. Many times.
it's just,
Mhm.
it seems, I don't know, like I've never understood the just like, I'm just gonna go for like the most like heinous thing right away. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Mhm.
I don't understand like the like a dick pic as like an opening line. That doesn't make sense to me. Don't do
Mm-mm.
that ever.
No.
You can get charges pressed against you. Don't do that. I'm looking directly at camera. Don't do it. And like there's something to be said for just like that, I don't know, that audacity or whatever we want to call it. I can't get behind it. But like if you can just like start and hold a conversation, you're doing better than a good 90% of some odd people.
Yeah, and that's true. Yeah, and honestly, a lot of the time too, I think I would argue like getting coffee, getting dinner and stuff like that is a horrible first date idea. Same with going to the movies because
Movies I can
um
agree with.
yeah, because one, movies you're not talking and you don't get to talk to each other.
Right.
Two is at a dinner table, you are literally forced to sit down and talk, and you have to, both parties will have to carry the conversation 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you know you're a little bit nervous or awkward or whatever, I bring people to markets, conventions, like anything where there's places to look around at a lot of things. If the
Activity date.
conversation's a little dry, you have 500,000 things to look at and bring it up. Like,
Right.
there's anime things on that table. I can talk about anime. There's like movies over there. I can talk about my favorite movies and like what I like and dislike, or just people you see or weird things that happen. Like, you've never run out of conversation topics with an entire building full of things going on.
Right.
So I love things like that.
Or like an
Yeah.
activity date. Like
Yeah.
go
I
play,
love mini golf. I love
I was gonna say go play mini golf. Go like
100%.
there's a couple of arcades that are like, I don't know, 15 or so minutes from here. Like go to one of those. Go play some pinball.
Yeah.
Like show how
Yeah.
bad you are at pinball and like make that a
Yeah.
joke. You
Mhm.
know?
Yeah. Love playing pool. Love doing all that stuff.
Right, dude.
Way better because then at least you can concentrate on the game if things get awkward.
Right, and you can just kind of like comment on the thing that's in front of you both.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's okay.
Like we do streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing going on in chat. It's like, well, I have the game to talk about now and I can just talk to myself the whole time.
Right. You can always kind of fall back on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's obviously everybody's different, you know, everybody's got different confidence levels, et cetera, et cetera. It's all part of the whole meeting people thing. And I love the world of working to meet people where they're at and then finding that like transparency of like, oh, like you're more of a quiet person. Okay. Let's go to a bar that I know that has unlimited jukebox. You know, because I know of one like 20 minutes from here, and you put in, I think it's a 10, and you get like literally, you get what feels like 30 songs. Like it's, and that's 10.
I've never done that. I don't even think I've seen a jukebox anywhere I've gone.
They're all like touch tunes now. They're all like an app.
Yeah.
But it's this one bar that has like their own jukebox. It's basically an MP3 player they put on the wall.
Yeah.
But like you put in $10 and you get like 30 songs. And that's a good chunk of time right there.
That's true. Pick your tunes for the whole night.
Yeah.
I was gonna assume the other has tensions different than what they actually do. Wait, what's one of those situations?
I think, well, if I'm understanding you, Krim, like that's what I like about being so upfront and transparent. Like, and the way you described it, Ferrari, about like being like, you're like, this is what I want. I want these things.
Exactly.
You know, if you're 5'10", is it exclusively a deal breaker?
Yeah.
Probably not. But like, you gotta make up for it in these other areas or whatever it is. And being upfront and having those intentions, you're like, no, I'm dating to marry, or I'm dating to mess around, or I'm dating to exclusively have one night stands, because there's people like that.
Yeah. And there's actually an app called Fruits that no one is using yet, where you pick a fruit. So it carries like, I'm looking for marriage and a partner. Like, great, Liz, I want a one night stand, and like there's like all things like that. So you pick one and then you can sort through intention. That's like the whole point of the app, is sorting through intentions of people. Which is interesting, because you can ignore all the other fruits and just go over for the ones that you're interested in. Yeah. And you know right after that, because they pre-selected, they can't change it or tell you halfway through to try and get you. It's like, nah, you have that locked in your profile.
I suppose you could still like straight up lie about it, but like definitely people who I like that idea of just being like, no, this is what I want. Because like, you even have like these like weird in-between options on Tinder, right? Where it's just like short-term open to long, and you're like, okay, well.
I know. And a lot of time I will just, especially if your profile doesn't seem serious, like you don't have any words in your profile, it's short-term open and long. No, you don't know what you want. I'm not going to help you figure out what you want or be collateral damage.
How do people get away with having literally nothing in their profile? Like, just
being really cute.
Damn it.
I'm guilty of it. And then they're really boring usually, though, or just don't answer back.
Fuck, I'm not cute enough to have nothing in my profile. So
yeah. I have broken a few things, but I'm like, I'm never dating a guy like this again. And I'm like, but he's really cute. I could just talk to him and see.
No,
Is it really that important?
No, I gotta get goofy with it. I gotta have something there.
Yeah, my all my profiles are like very, this is what I want, this is what I like couple of jokes thrown in there, so I'm not serious, except for Tinder. I have it set up like an advertisement because someone I came across did the Old Spice commercials where they're like, look at the last guy you dated, then look at me, then look at him again, then look at me, look down to the floor. Now I have a pizza. You want to go out for the pizza? Like, they did their profile like that. Yeah. And I laughed so hard. I mimicked that with something similar. So everyone thinks I'm absolutely nuts on Tinder.
Oh, of course.
And I love it. It's great. Like, people are like, your profile's like the best thing I've ever read. And I'm like, thank you. I take good pride in that.
Yeah, the little jokes that I throw in here and there. Because like one of them is just like perks of dating me, right? And it was like, you get to say that you went out with Weird Al once.
That's funny.
And someone was like, so like, I think it's been 2 people now who have been just like, well, I would love to go out with Weird Al. And I'm like,
Well, good news.
guess what? I don't know who my dad is. So
Could you imagine?
I don't know. Maybe Weird Al got around in the early 90s. I have no idea.
He actually has like massive swag. And yeah, Karim, it's true what you're saying with choice fatigue.
Yeah, 5,000 profiles. I imagine.
That. Yeah, because at some point it's just like, yeah, I'm just tired. I'm there right now. I'm just tired.
Yeah,
I really want to keep doing this. It's like, yeah, it's been 100% disappointment rate so far.
I just wonder too, like if there's very much like we talk a lot about this. We've talked about it in my chat before. Is when you are a femme presenting person, you get compliments so often that you have to like try and figure out the intention behind the compliment.
Yeah.
And because sometimes, yeah, like a compliment is strictly meant like a compliment, like, oh, I like your hair clip, you know, whatever it is, right? It's like, oh, thanks, you know, like, and that could be it, but you get them so often, and some have such shitty intentions that you like, then it's like, God, well, now I don't know how to take this compliment or how to like approach this person with it. Versus male presenting people don't get compliments practically ever. So like we hear, like if let's say you gave me a compliment, you're like, hey Travis, I really like your shirt. You're like, I'd be like, okay, you want me to wear it forever? You know, like,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'll wear it
I've
every
experienced
day.
that.
I'll never wash it. Like,
yeah.
And it's so interesting to like have that dichotomy between like people who don't, we could receive the exact same compliment and take it totally differently.
Yeah. For me, it's like if someone every day or every single time I talk to them, they have to compliment me on my looks all the time. But like there's like you're just throwing it in there like with no context all the time, being like, especially Snapchat. Oh my God, I hate Snapchat. You send me the same picture every single day and your face is always like this. And every single photo, like looking off into the distance, and it's just your face, same pose every single time. You want me to say the same thing? You look really good today. You look the same as yesterday. Like you look great, but it's like there's no intention of like why you're sending the photo or like I don't get it. Like, and then you just tell me, oh, like you're pretty. I like your face. I like your eyes. I like your lips. Like, okay, you're just complimenting my features.
Those aren't things
you
you
like
can
anything
control.
else about me? Exactly. And so it turns into thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
What else would you like me to say about it?
Just say like
my
thanks.
Mother gave me this stuff. I have my dad's eyelashes. Would you like to see my father's eyes? Like, so it's like,
you want me to bust out that photo?
Yeah,
or?
It gets really too much. It feels like too much, and it feels overwhelming a lot of the time too.
Yeah.
So it's like, or saying like, "Hey, beautiful." Like that's a little different. It's complimentary, but it's like just.
But where's the intention, right?
It's not. Yeah, it doesn't feel as aggressive when you say it like that, rather than like your eyes are so pretty. Like, yeah, there's nothing else to say to it.
But again, that's not something you can control, which is why like one of my favorite pieces is compliment something that the person is controlling. What they wore that day, what they decided to do their makeup with, or like
what they like
lip color, gentlemen.
Never got that one before either.
See? See? Because
it takes a lot of time. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to think
because y'all
about
are taking your like you took the time to pick out this specific lip color because it either matched what you were doing or it matched the eyeshadow, or you were like going with whatever, or you're like, no, this is like my everyday go-to, and it's just like, well, you picked well. It's, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it has a good point too. No, if someone was like, that's like the most badass wire play I've ever seen, I'd be like, thank you. thank you for noticing. I would be very happy if someone complimented my gameplay or I get this a lot because I'm a total nerd and there's not as many girl nerds out there. I feel like there should be, but they're like, "You love Star Wars? I love the fact you love Star Wars. Like, what do you like about it?" Conversation topic, have something in common, and complimenting them on liking what they like.
Hmm.
Everybody likes to share interests with people, so like you don't even doesn't even need to be a physical thing around them, like something
Right.
about them. Yeah.
It's just
Thank
like,
you, Krim.
thanks, and then like the little like thumbs up emoji, like.
Thank you, Krim. Yeah. And then certain things is just like, oh, like if I take compliments very poorly, so I like just blush and be like, oh my God, now I have nothing to say. Like, what do I say? Like, thank you. Like that
Got you.
actually caught me off guard. So that can happen too. So it's like, no, thank you, Crab. But
No, there's definitely something very like interesting about the way that we give and receive compliments. Like because I don't receive compliments very often. I have a hard time taking them.
Mm.
And and like how do I specifically like give this compliment back, or do I just take it, or do I like don't deny the compliment, which is this is actually a thing my therapist taught me, which was you don't have to say no, right? Like don't say no, but just say thank you or just say thanks, because you are not denying the compliment.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not also going just like,
Mm.
yeah, I am a god. Like, you don't have to like, you don't
I would
have to
actually
go.
love if someone did that. Please do that next time someone compliments you.
That's it. That's what I'll do. Like, hey, I really liked your karaoke song, and you're like, that's because I'm the next incarnation. So thanks.
Yeah, that's funny.
Thanks. I knew you would. No, it's very like. No, just say,
And that is kind of
thank
true
you.
though. Like you almost have to compliment back after.
Mm,
It's like you feel awkward not giving a compliment back.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And I imagine for somebody who is been presenting and gets a lot of compliments, is my guess is that you're like, I don't always want to compliment back.
Depends on the person. I mean,
Sure.
I can usually find something to appreciate about people. I feel like that comes more naturally to me. Like you line up a bunch of people in front of me, I can find something I like about each person. Everybody has their own beauty or things about them, or like coolness things, or something to relate to. I feel like if you try hard enough, you can relate to someone about everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's a bit easier for me to do, but yeah, there's definitely the pressure where you have to say something back. Yeah.
Yeah. I do wonder too, like if you find yourself like pressured in the sense that like if someone's complimenting you all the time and it starts to get to like this uncomfortable point, you're like, where do I go with this? Because I understand that this person is possibly, hopefully, trying to be nice and not just trying to see what's underneath my clothes. Like where,
Yeah.
how do you handle it?
Yeah, honestly, and this happened to me like in the last week too. It's like, okay, you're talking to someone, but like, first of all, if someone jokingly is like, "Oh man, we just need to go get married." Oh, okay, ha ha, I get it. You really like me. I'm interesting. But then they kind of say that all the time. It's like, are you being serious now? That like you want to be boyfriend and girlfriend right now, don't you? Like I start questioning. First of all, like you're not jumping in super fast. Like you are mature, right? And then if they over compliment all the time, be like, no, seriously, you're so fucking pretty all the time. It's like, this is getting a little awkward. And my interest level will just go down.
Right.
Like there has to be some naturalness to it. Like if there's a funky joke and whatever, and then they're like, no, seriously, like you're really pretty or whatever. Like it's all how you carry it, how often you do it. Are they responding back in the same way? Like if you feel
Right.
like a hesitation, like last time you complimented them, they kind of were like, oh yeah, maybe don't do it for a little bit, or like try it a different way. Like don't do the same thing all the time just because it worked once. To your point, you get complimented once, guys will go crazy with it. If a girl's like, haha, that was so funny, or like, oh, thank you, don't do the same thing every single time, because then it
Right.
starts to get weird. It's like, oh, that's all you got. Like that's your one line. That's all you have. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. No,
I just kind of
it's
go bye bye.
yeah. It's the fun part of like being able to get creative because then they feel so much
Mhm.
more genuine because see like the person put actual like thought and effort into this.
Yes.
I put actual like thought and effort into my compliment
Mhm.
or this flirty line or my opener or whatever, right? So
Mhm.
it's like, oh, well, no, that was good. One I used recently, and feel free to steal this, gentlemen. Nobody will know. Is someone's name was Lex on their profile,
Mhm.
and we matched and we started talking a little bit. And I said, how many guesses do I get to guess what your real name is? Because Lex is probably short for something, right?
Mhm.
And she was like, you get 2. And I said, okay. How about Alexandra or Lexapro? And it was like, boom. It was great. It was great. So
That's funny.
you get to, but that's my point is like, you get to, and it's a little self-complimentary, but like get creative with it.
Yeah. And
I can't,
like
yeah.
I will say too, so like if it's, can you say this to anybody else? Like, have I heard this in a movie before?
Mm-hmm.
Have I heard somebody else say this before? Is this something that circulates around the internet? At this point, I am telling you right now, if you are using a chat GPT bot, I can tell.
Oh yeah.
Because I know how they talk and I know what pops up in a chat GPT bot. If you Googled an answer, like what are some common ones? What are you looking for? My keys. You Googled that. I've seen that on 5, 10 other profiles. Um, so like there's certain things that's like just be genuine and like write in your own answers and don't like if you say, oh, like you're pretty, okay, but like what about me? If you pick out something specific, if you ask a question very specific to what I talked about, it's effort and girls love effort and like the fact that you have to think about something, like I mentioned something, then you plan a date around that one thing I said, I would be blown away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I went skating one time when I was 9 years old, told you a story, and then next time we go on a date, you take me skating. I would be like, hey, you were listening, and it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shit ton of effort. And honestly, most of the people I have dated for a long time haven't even done that. So they couldn't even figure out what my favorite color was or what kind of flowers I liked over 6 years. So, you know,
What is
way
your
ahead of
favorite
other
color?
people. That actually changes a lot, but right now it's purple.
Purple's a great color.
Yeah, I love purple.
Notice the background lights.
Yeah, I love purple.
I knew it, obviously.
Most of my channel is purple right now. It was pre-planned. Psychic.
It's so funny because like people want to put the most or the least amount of effort in for the most results, and it's so disproportionate to what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon like the amount of times that I've seen some fucking Michael Scott quote on a profile, I'm like, yeah, got it. Or like people who I don't know if you see this as far as like seeking men goes, but like I imagine in your little island world of the amount of men holding a fish.
Okay,
Or,
so one point,
and maybe you're into that. Maybe you're into that, but
so at one point there were so many fish pictures. I actually used to go on salmon runs with my dad, and I have like 20 pictures of fish half the size of my body.
Mhm.
So there's all these guys with this little fish, and I'll be like, I'll talk to you if you can have a bigger fish picture than I do.
Yeah.
Like I will demasculate the men holding the fish pictures, or explain this one. Why are people posting pictures from the dentist with their mouths open? Like,
What?
you know those things where they hold their mouths open? They're like
Yeah.
things that go in your mouth and they stretch your mouth open. All the guys are posting pictures of that. Are they communicating somewhere and doing it?
I
There
did not
must be
get
a
that
Reddit thread
memo.
somewhere where they've decided what pictures they are posting.
No, I didn't get that memo.
Yeah.
The memo I got was
That's
to
fun.
at least include one picture of your animals. That was
Mhm.
That was the only memo I got as far as pictures go.
Yeah. And there's about like at least 50 profiles I've seen where every single person is wearing the exact same pro bass hat.
Oh,
They're
Bass
all
Pro
wearing the same
Shops.
hat.
Bass Pro
Yeah.
Shops. We were just talking
Yeah.
about those yesterday. Oh my god. It's so funny. I've noticed
I think so.
I've
Oh,
noticed,
alpha males.
oh yeah, classics.
We'll talk about that after.
I've noticed the same. We made a joke when at first, and we don't do it anymore because we kind of there was weird feelings about it. But when we first, my partner and I both got on dating apps at the same time, we'd like swipe together to be like, no, look at this, kind of thing.
Okay.
It's kind of like this little thing. It started to feel weird, but so we stopped doing that around each other. But we were like, what if we take a drink for every time you read the word adventure?
Oh no. Oh, and I want to do this on stream now.
Like every time you
Everyone
read a
get their
profile
phones out.
that's just like, I want to go on adventures, you're like,
Mhm.
or
Drink.
I love to travel and I like food. It's like fucking everybody does.
Yeah. How about just gym rat? Let's just do gym rat. I like going to the gym.
There are also women who have similar type stuff. After work, you'll find me at the gym.
Mhm.
If I'm not at home, I'm at the gym. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I go for the gym for like an hour and I'm like, all right, I'm bored.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, biggest tip for men out there.
All right.
If your hobbies, okay, when you are picking
from her
hobbies on your profile,
Yeah.
okay, it is to find common interests with people.
Right.
So if all of your hobbies are, you like reading, you like going to the gym, you like listening to podcasts, and that's all you have on your thing, how many of those can you do with other people? How many of those are mutual activities that the person's going to be like, yeah, I'd like to go do that with you?
I guess the gym, but
maybe, yeah.
that's about
but
it.
like,
I mean, podcasts
but
like in the car. I don't know.
a lot of people post singular activities on their profile where it tells them nothing about what you could do or ask you about and stuff like that. It's like post things that are like, I like doing this, or we could go do this together, or whatever.
No, I'm so
do
curious.
that because then it'll match the people. What do you have on yours?
I'm
Yeah,
so
100%.
curious because I don't remember what I put on mine.
Uh-huh. Yeah, everybody go and check, please.
Yeah, I'm checking right now.
Board games, movies, hiking, listening to music. So hiking and maybe, but you can't do that for a first date because it's creepy, as we went over before. Board game stores, board game cafes.
Right.
Movies, don't suggest movies on a first date, but you can talk about movies you like.
Don't do that.
Listening to music. What music do you like listening to? But I'm like concerts. I like cars and car shows. I like video games.
Oh yeah.
Like all of mine are things that it's like, if you want to go do that, we can go do that right now.
I got karaoke, mental health, grab a drink, metal, and video games.
That's pretty good. Especially people who are like mental health shit. I'm like, higher potential that you're sane. Love that.
Possibly.
So I usually look that up on people's profiles or try and match with that somehow, because I'm like, okay, you like psychology? That means you might know what your trauma is, which means
possibly
you might be ahead of possibly, but there's a higher chance.
Then
Normally
again,
if they're like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I ran into a dude at a bar once who started talking about what do we want to call this guy?
Dale.
No, we're gonna call him Drew Potato. Drew Potato.
Drew Potato. Okay.
And if you want to extend those words or change them, you could probably figure out who I'm talking about. But he considered that particular alpha male his psychology. So his psychology was alpha male, because I was like, oh, I'm a therapist in real life, and he was just like, oh, I know about psychology. Drew Potato, help me out. And I was just like,
yeah.
Oh no.
So
oh no.
The person I was dating last year, and I know this now, more
Mm.
than ever. So I do know who you're talking about, and I learned his terminology for the first time last year. It was really the first time I was like, I know I've heard of this person before, but like I don't really know like why everyone hates him and like all this stuff. So I've done a lot of research since then. I followed alpha male pages to understand exactly how they think they can manipulate women, because I'm like, all right, you think you can do that? Well, let's find out so I can avoid it. So I've been following these pages for the last year. Dated
Okay.
someone who is very much alpha male, because I go for alpha male types. Absolutely do. Love it. Love everything
Interesting.
about it. Yes. So, and another problem. Yeah. Um, so this person just expected so many things, but were so selfish and couldn't provide anything
Hmm.
of value past like a couple weeks. And it's like, okay, you expect all of this and you want feminine energies, but all you know how to do is bring masculine energy out of women because you argue. Everything you hate, you are. I can see the trauma written on your face and where it comes from. And you're like, there's nothing wrong with me. I do all this self help. Alpha male podcasts are not self help. You might be fixing the fact that you've been manipulated by women. You might fix the fact that you're insecure about things and need to be more confident and blah. Great. Deal with those things. Are you a narcissist? Are you empathetic towards other people? What issues do you actually have? Don't say no, I don't have a problem. If you say no, I don't have any problems I have to work on, that is a huge red flag.
Hmm.
Know what your issues are. And it's like they're so self-centered and thinking there's nothing wrong with them, and they will never admit there's nothing wrong with them. Narcissist is like my taboo word of the millennium
Hmm.
that like is just rampant everywhere. Like I will run in the opposite direction the second I see any of that crap, because it's really like you are so hurting inside, you went the full opposite direction to deal with it and are now damaging yourself and others instead of dealing with the root issue, and you can't even see it.
Yeah, I mean, you
That's
kind of hit the nail
all
on
I
the
can.
head. It's very
Yeah.
it's a form of coping that ends up hurting those around them and causing more issues and struggles, because they are just like they've been hurt, usually, at least.
Mhm.
They've been hurt, or they've been like, that's how they've been taught.
Mhm.
Like generally a lot of the times with specifically personality disorders, those are results of trauma.
Mhm.
um so finding out like what those kinds of things are very like, how do we handle the hurt? And because a lot of these alpha male podcasts are just like that masculine energy of just, well, instead of being hurt, just take control of anything and everything around you and squeeze it to fucking death, you know?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
uh, I get some help, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. And they think they are like so top shit. I'm literally gonna say it like that, that they can get girls. You know what I have noticed? None of the first of all, they can't keep a girl.
Nope,
I
never.
want to make that very clear to anyone who follows these. They can't keep a girl. They lose the good ones and don't even realize what their value is. And none of the girls that they're dating are very attractive. They're like in comparison to their level, I usually find that. And I don't like saying that, but honestly, it's like they're bragging that they can get all of these women and that they're the hottest things on the planet. And it's like some of the women you were dating either have like serious issues, like they're insecure, they're like these women that you might pass by sometimes, and
Hmm.
it's like you are dating average people too, just like everyone else. You are not better than anyone else about doing anything. You're not dating models. You're not dating all these like celebrities and stuff like that thinking that you're the best thing on the planet. That's not what's happening.
Sure.
Because they think they present it in a way that they can catch like America's Next Top Model, and that's all who they're dating. They're not. I shouldn't say, sorry, not pretty. I should say average looking girls, normal looking girls. These are the people that they're dating. They're
Yeah.
not catching the people that they're presenting that they're doing, like Potato Man. Anyway, but all of that, like, there are positive influences online and, like,
There are.
psychologists that are actual, like, giving good advice on how to navigate situations for yourself and positive things. So please notice the difference between something that's extremely toxic and like actual genuine good psychology, because there's a huge difference in
Pop
between those.
pop psychology is very big online, and what I'm finding is that, and I work with kids, so it's definitely affecting the new upcoming generation a whole lot more. I have a lot of kids who come in and they're like, I have histrionic personality disorder, and I'm like, okay, whoa.
I don't know what that is.
It's a personality disorder, and so you go like, why do you have histrionic personality disorder? And usually it's almost always the same thing. They bust out a TikTok and they show me like, well, this is what like they said, and I'm like, okay, and how does that apply to you? And like we try and like kind of debunk it a little bit. Not that pop psychology doesn't have like some merits of kind of like opening the door a little bit. The another huge one right now is autism, and
That I was gonna say,
yeah, autism is huge right now in pop psychology, and how it's like people will use that as almost like a hashtag to garner attention versus actually being on the spectrum or something like that. Because someone, I saw a TikTok the other day, was like the autistic urge to change out your toothbrush every 2 months, and I'm like, that's like a fairly normal thing that people do. Like,
yeah,
that's like,
yeah.
I think you're just using it as like a almost like a flag, like look at me type of thing. And I find that kind of behavior problematic, because it takes away from people who are actually on the spectrum and perhaps actually need that the help for that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I feel like there's a lot of people, like you'll notice them posting about it a lot.
Yeah.
And bringing it up in every like thing you can. It's like, oh, like this something bad happened in my life and it's because I'm autistic. Like it affects me differently than it would you. And it's like they have to bring it into every situation. And there's also those posts that are saying, what's it called? Females are different than males, and you will, like, if you don't relate to other women as much, you could be autistic because you're trying to act this way. And like they just very normal things that are different between like male and feminine energies. They'll just make it because you're like that,
right,
you could be autistic,
right?
So yeah.
And like obviously like the boomer humor also of just like, women are different than men, aren't they? And it's like, yeah, like,
yes. Anyone with different chemicals in their body that are higher than others will be different.
But they're
than
like,
others.
but I hate my wife, and you're like, that's not good. That's not a good thing. Like,
no.
Why are you bragging about that? I've never understood boomer humor, because it's like, it's always the same, like, I hate my wife style joke, and I'm like, if you hate this person, leave.
Yeah.
You truly hate this person, you know? Safety and stuff aside, they're doing it for the joke, and you're like, stop it. It's not a funny joke. Jokes are meant to be
How
funny.
much has she done for you? Does she still make your dinner and lay out your clothes every morning? Because I bet you're actually quite appreciative.
Oh my god, right? I saw one the other day that was like, it was this woman cooking like dino nuggets and hamburger helper, and was like just cooking it, and it was just like, fellas, you work 10 hours on the plant today and you come home to your wife making this. What are you doing? And like all the responses were like, leave her ass or go back to work or shit like that. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm gonna eat the fuck out of that meal. Like, because somebody was willing to put in the effort for me.
Yeah.
So like, it's just
Would you rather make it yourself?
Yeah, I don't, like, if I work 10 hours, I don't want to come home to nothing like that.
Yeah. Here's an even better one. Ask what your wife did all day.
Right. You know,
What did she do?
did
Was
your
she
wife
home?
work? Did your wife take care of your kids possibly?
Did like one of the children have like a meltdown and like puke all over the wall and she spent like 10 hours like scrubbing the wall and
Right.
like or like maybe they drew in permanent marker or something and she like repainted the wall so that you have a beautiful home to come down to and then decided to make you chicken nuggets as well. Like just say thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat the fuck out of that hamburger helper
I
for two
love chicken
reasons.
nuggets. I had
Because
chicken nuggets for dinner.
yeah, and like so like yes, is it the most nutritious or like fantastical meal? No, but does that matter in this scenario? No. But that was like the whole point was to get like these guys who all do the same exact joke of just like hate wife. Like it's about like even in like modern like wedding and marriage culture, they're still just like, oh, well, game over for the old ball and chain. Am I right? You know, you know, like that kind of. You have like the little figurines on top of the cake. That's like the woman like dragging the husband. You know, like
Mm,
ew.
yeah. It's like, oh, you don't want to be here? Let me force you to be. That'll work out.
Little bit of ick. Little bit of ick. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
No.
Especially for
Yeah, and
someone like you who's probably like is quite literally dating for marriage. So you're like, hello?
yeah. No. There's so many toxic things that I see. And yeah, all that alpha male crap, it's like, okay, you want someone to make your dinner for you and do all this stuff. It's like, okay, are you providing A, B, C, D, E, and F that a male is supposed to do? There's one page that circulates a man
Mhm.
talking about he's like, my wife doesn't fill up her gas tank. My wife doesn't have to touch mechanics on a car. My wife doesn't touch the garbage. My wife doesn't do this. My wife doesn't do this. And I handle all of these things for her and she will never have to do them. Where's my list? You have a list? Where's my list?
Yeah.
You want to trade and be like that? Let's trade and be like that. Okay, we can make a deal. Let's
Yeah.
crack an arrangement, but don't be like, I expect all of this of you and all you think is that you just live your regular life.
Right.
But I have expectations? No.
Mm-mm.
I will, but for what trade?
Yeah, right. Like if that's how you want to run your relationship, where
Mm-hmm.
like these are my duties, these are your duties, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
sounds good. You shake on it. You know, like
Yeah, business deal done. Yeah,
mutual exchange. Yeah. Like
yeah.
yeah, and it's so if that's how you want to run that, feel free. And if that's
Mhm,
like again okay with both parties,
mhm,
that has to work though. But I definitely find like these hate wife things and I did see one that was on the other side of just like it was a stitch and it was it started out your classic just like, you know, these days all women do is lie and eat hot chip or whatever like the meme is, right? But then like the person like stitched it said like, why don't men go off to war and die anymore? And I was just like, whoa.
okay, it's a little.
And then she was like, where's my house built from the ground up, Jared?
There you go. Where's my beautiful $10,000 kitchen? Like, let's go, chop chop.
Where's my 40 acres
Mhm.
of farmland that you're supposed to take care of?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Whoa. Yeah. Good on people who think of good responses back to that on the fly. I'm just saying. That's ridiculous.
It's so wild. And I you know, there's I can understand like you were saying earlier, you're like when it comes to certain relationships and information, I can be kind of conservative about myself.
Hmm.
That's kind of, at least if I'm phrasing that correctly, you were like, no, about myself. Now I'm a little bit on that side of things.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd almost like straight up say like I'm traditional.
Yeah.
100% like I'm traditional and like honestly business arrangement like this is you, this is me. I'm okay with that.
Right.
I'm okay with a lot of things like that. And Monkey there says it's exhausting, but it's like yeah, there's different types of people for everybody, and it's like
Right.
yeah, you find what works and have to have someone agreeable to whatever you work out, right? But
Yeah. I feel like if it's and just to go off what Cow Monkey just said a second ago, or Cold Monkey was like gender normative tasks, possibly, like if that's how you want to arrange it, right? But like, I guess in the most, just like, I'll speak for myself only, like I do all the cooking. I do all the cooking at my house. Like, but Shy does all the dishes. Because that's what we both prefer to do. And so like now that's become like the arrangement, as it were, right? Like you're saying, like the recognizing the strengths of your partner, right? Shy hates cooking. She hates it.
Yeah.
She's like, she's like, I don't even want to fucking pour cereal. I hate cooking.
That's so funny.
And I'm like,
me, I hate garbage. I hate the garbage.
Oh, see, that's my
heavy.
task.
You have to drag it. It stinks. It smells. You have to clean out the garbage can. I don't want to deal with it. You have to do it all the time. It just never ends. And when it leaks, it's like, like literally, you know, when there's like a hole in the bottom of the bag, and you dragged it. You're like, damn it! Now I need to go get them up. And it's like, yeah, things like that. It's like you do that. Like I will do majority of things, but that's one where I'm like, can you just yeah,
that's a Trav task. That's Trav task is do the garbage. And I don't mind that. I don't mind doing that.
Yeah. I hate it.
It's just so funny that like, because it sounds very like listy business deal. Let's shake on it. Hopefully stocks go up, whatever. Right? But it's like, but we're just going based on our strengths and stuff that like, hey, Trav doesn't like to do dishes, but I love cooking. And she's like, well, guess what? You're in luck. I hate cooking, but I will do dishes all day. And I'm like, like, best deal ever.
Yeah. My favorite thing ever too is like, there's certain things like cooking where it's like, I'll do it most of the time, but it's like, really what it turns into is who's less tired today situation. So it's like, okay, I'll do it most of the time, but like those days when you're really tired and like the person will step in and do those tasks anyway, it's like that percentage level of energy per day, whoever's like running higher can help out with some of the rest to like make it more even, right?
Yeah, of course. Like it's never up to one of us to sweep, you know?
Yeah.
But if one of us has the energy for it that day and the other doesn't, all right, I'll take it, whatever it is, you know? No, not a huge thing to like really bash heads on. Like we definitely can run into each other sometimes of like, I just don't think I got it in me today. I would love to run to the restroom really quick, and I think we should come back to a Q&A action based on either what we've been talking about, what we haven't been talking about. It can be kind of questions based on anything, and it can be questions to both of us. This is to the chat, by the way. You can ask Ferrari questions. She's over there. Or you can ask me questions. I'm over here. And we can kind of go based on that. So I'll see you all in like 5-ish minutes or so. That way you can go get a drink and think of some questions. And Ferrari, if you have questions, I want to hear if you can come up with something maybe.
All right.
We'll see you soon.
On it.
Bye. Alrighty. Welcome
We're
back.
back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Where you sing the Weird Al song, I'm back.
You mean I'm fat?
Yeah.
I feel like that hurts
I'm
my own
back.
feelings. I do, I've done, for karaoke, I've done White and Nerdy, and I've also done, Amish Paradise.
That's great.
Amish Paradise tends to get more of a reaction, but
Is it? It's a classic.
But this is the time for any sort of Q&A. This is from the audience as well. Thank you all for being here. Number one, thank you, Ferrari, for being here as well. Feel free to ask any sort of questions, whether they're related to what we've been talking about, not related to what we've been talking about. And then they can ask to both me or Ferrari or both. Like, it doesn't particularly matter. And if not, I've got plenty of creative questions just stirring around in here.
The question master.
But I want to start with you. Do you have anything off the top of your head?
Well, like, just like first thoughts. Like, I know the same things about you from like knowing you for so long and streaming. So like, when you're not streaming, when you're not doing psychology, like, what is your jam? Like, what do you do? Or like dream projects, like things you like, your things you work on? Like, what's your jam?
I have made I've made some music before.
Okay.
And I want to get more courage. It's so funny because like I love karaoke and I go all the time, but like to sing on like a project, I don't know, that feels different, like for some reason. So I like to make music. That's a big thing for me. I go to the gym a lot, and I also I mean, it's not untrue, but it's but I am there for like an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, and then I'm like, all right, that's enough.
Nice.
I'm not those guys who are there for 3-4 hours at a time.
Yeah, that's something.
Like,
that feels like too much.
It's boring,
like
is what
it is. Yeah, but it's like so I think when you're having to record your voice and listen back to it, like, you know, when you hear your voice back, like in a stream or like on the phone, you're like, ew, what is that? I feel like that would be amplified if you were having to sing and like separate your voice out. But no, that's like, what kind of music would you make if you were making music?
So I don't have like my favorite style of music is like the hard rock, metal, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't have that kind of voice. I have kind of a more of like an 80s style voice.
Interesting. Okay.
So this is going to sound braggy, and I don't mean it to be. There was a national karaoke competition
Nice.
where you go from like local to like area to state to national to world, right?
Yeah.
And I got 27th in the state. So
that's good.
I was like that feels pretty good. That feels pretty good, but I'm like, I don't exactly know, like, would I make like kind of like throwback style 80s music? Would I create like, I really like some synth wavy stuff or some like synth pop style kind of stuff, because I don't have like that gravel or that edge to my voice. Only when I'm like saying things as Sonic, like that's the only time like I could like do things like that, which is so stupid. So I'm like, I could do that, but I can't translate it into singing. That's stupid.
I just have a new TikTok theme for you. Sonic the Hedgehog goes metal. I'm just saying.
Oh man.
Like, you could do a whole page based on it. But seriously though, did you ever consider like vocal coaching to find your sound?
Well, I
learn to do a specific sound you wanted.
I was originally in school for music.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
So I had a voice teacher who definitely helped me kind of define my sound and get it to like a more, I guess, like a more full sound, and not like I'm trying to, because the way I was doing it for quite a while, and most people do this, is they try and kind of impersonate a little bit. And that's okay, because that helps you kind of like define your voice and where it comes from. But then like they kind of train it out of you to like, you're not Gwen Stefani. So, and Gwen Stefani is one of my vocal heroes. I love her, right?
Yeah.
So, but she does this little like thing at the end of all her phrases. And so I had to get that like trained out of me, because I just like was singing and she's like, you did it like for almost every single thing. And she's like, and that's Gwen Stefani's thing.
Yeah. Whoever you grew up listening to, you're going to end up mimicking it.
It's a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
Love, no doubt. And I like some of her solo stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, oh my God, I didn't even realize I was doing that. So I've kind of helped define my own sound at this point, but like, what would that feel good on? Would I want other people to be a part of it? Would I want to just like start with just like acoustic covers of stuff?
Yeah.
What if I went with metal songs, but acoustic covers?
Yeah.
I've thought about that.
I listen to a lot of those. Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering if I could do something like that, but I suck at guitar. So like, I probably have to have some people help me.
Yeah. So like I and that's interesting to me, because like I used to sing in like choir and stuff like that, like in school. I've done a lot of really weird things, and I've never found my sound, and I feel like it comes out completely differently. So I've always been interested on like finding a really good teacher that would be like, this is your real voice, this is how you do it. I think that's the most interesting thing, because it's difficult. It's really, really difficult.
It's, I mean, and part of that is like, you do find your own voice by listening to those around you, right? And you also kind of like pick up like, oh no, that's what this person was doing, and that is a much more like rock vocal things. And you can get like the gravel, and like these guys who are screaming for metals bands and stuff like that, they're just doing it properly. It doesn't come from the throat. It like comes from like your diaphragm, and like the way you like place like your tongue and your soft palate and stuff like that. And I cannot for the life of me. I can't
even like, it would come out as just a small roar. I wouldn't be able to do it, but I think it would be so much fun if you learned how to do it.
Right.
Like if I was Steven Tyler, I would be doing his like wah thing all over the house just for fun.
Yeah.
Because it sounds so cool. Like I'd be doing the same thing with that. 100%.
There's so much like different like things that you like train and get better. And if you like, because if you sing improperly, you'll just trash it. Because it's such a sensitive muscle, and like your chords, if you don't do them properly, you're gonna slap each other and just like damage each other. So
that's scary to think about.
It is. It is. And they like, that's why like part of like people who are even like just voice actors like do a lot of practice and get their vocals to a point where they can just do a certain voice all day.
Interesting. Yeah.
To place it either like in your mask. Like my Pyrus voice is all like up in here, right? I can do that all day because it's up in here. And so like, I don't know, there's different things that you end up learning with vocal training.
Yeah, that's very cool. I would love to do that.
Yeah. I recommend it, because even if you're not like going for any sort of professional singing, like it's still kind of fun to like get better at singing.
Yeah.
Because it's such a confidence booster to be able to like, because like it's different than playing an instrument in my opinion. It's different than playing an instrument, because an instrument like is like a thing you do versus like your voice is like a thing you are.
Yeah, that's true. And to just like completely kick ass at karaoke night, like everyone else is like so impressed. You're just like, yeah, I did that.
I love going to karaoke for partially because I'm selfish like that.
No, it's fun. I enjoy hearing people who are good, for sure. It's great. Like, so, like the bad ones are funny, and then the good ones are good. And you're like, oh yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. I used to host karaoke, so I've seen the full spectrum of people who are like people who are amazing, like vocally, but the most boring people to watch on the planet.
Yeah.
Or people who are terrible, but they put on an amazing show. You know?
Yeah. My friend Social would call it bassist syndrome, where the bass player always stands still and does nothing.
Oh my gosh.
The other ones are more energetic. Yeah.
There's this, I just remember this girl came in for a karaoke competition specifically, and she was like so good, but the most like just so timid and shy, and like didn't let go of the microphone even once, just like right here
Oh my gosh.
on the stand the whole time. And I was just like, if you moved at all, you would have won this competition.
Yeah. Yeah. Just need the confidence.
Just a little bit.
Doing it enough, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Question part 2. Best concerts you've ever been to? I feel like you've been to some good ones.
I've been to a lot of concerts. Same question to you as well, if you had an answer prepped.
Yeah, I'll say my first while you think. So last year went to Guns N' Roses.
Cool.
That was amazing. That was very fun with, and Carrie Underwood actually smashed it too, but like Slash and like how many guitars he had and stuff, amazing. You guys wouldn't know this one. So Kim Mitchell and like Helix and a few other bands played. They're Canadian bands. Everyone knows them here. It's like classic like 90s, maybe 80s rock. Look them up if you don't know them, but like front row, kicked ass, amazing, nailed the songs. Who else have I seen? I saw the Offspring front row, which was really good. They really hype up the crowd.
Yeah. I got to see the Offspring.
They were always excellent. Yeah, they're fun just because of the stupid jokes they throw in, and they're very entertaining. Other ones that I've seen, I know I saw Classified. They're Canadian too. I don't know if you know them. The Who I've seen, the Trues, like a lot of them are Canadian bands, but I'm a concert junkie. I already have Blink-182 and Sum 41 planned for this year.
Excellent. Yeah, Sum 41's last tour, so.
Yeah, I have tickets in 2 different places.
Nice.
That's
I might
excellent.
Go to both. I'm trying to think like.
Here's McSperry.
At
the Kim Mitchell concert, they brought Patty Lansard to the concert. I'm glad you know what I'm talking about.
Trying to think of like some of the best ones I've been to, because I've been to so many. I'll give the honorable mention to multiple Warped Tours. In Warped Tour's heyday, I will say as well, because they tried that little like tiny Warped Tour, like I want to say like pre-COVID for a few years, and like it had like
I heard it was going downhill.
It had like 5 dates, and they like 3 of them were in California. Like, I was like, well, I'm not. It's smaller. It's smaller and more expensive than the last Warped Tour, so.
Yeah.
I did get to see System of a Down last year.
Nice.
Which was, they were awesome. They played like 30 songs, and.
Why don't they make music anymore? Do they hate each other?
They hate each other.
Yeah, I thought so. That's sad.
They hate each other, and it's all money, apparently. According to Serge, it's all money. According to Darren, it's like differences in taste and blah blah blah. It's like, okay.
We can tell who the diva is.
Yeah. And so, but that I got to see them last year because they were headlining Sick New World last year, and I was like, I have to see them because there's no telling if they'll ever play another show again.
Yeah.
Could wake up tomorrow to a Facebook post that's just like, we killed the drummer and we're never performing again. You know, like. That was a really good one. One of my favorite concerts I ever went to was Disturbed, Avenged Sevenfold, Stone Sour, and who opened was like a very young Hailstorm.
Oh, really? Cool.
And I got to meet Lizzie Hale, and she was so nice, and I've always had a huge crush on her, so I was just like, this is amazing. That was a really fun one because that was also one of the, other than Warped Tour's first concerts I ever got to go to by myself.
That's cool.
I
haven't been to any festivals really yet.
They I would imagine they went to Ontario or Toronto fairly often, but
Like, we have festivals here, but I don't feel like they're like massive festivals unless they're like EDM festivals.
sure.
Like, you get the same bands coming by all the time too, and if you don't live in Toronto, they don't come. Like the Rolling Stones are coming through. They went to Vancouver.
Right.
They didn't even come to the middle or east side of North America. So it's like, I'm not flying out there. Like, you have to fly everywhere.
Right.
And it's super expensive to fly in Canada, and it's super expensive for the ticket.
Yeah.
So it's like, unless you have $1,000 to blow without including hotels, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Ice Nine Kills show was great last year. That was a lot of fun. That was I live in Colorado, so I have Red Rocks. I don't know if you've heard of
Yes,
Red Rocks, the
I
venue.
do know.
That's about 30-40 minutes from me. So
That's cool.
going there to see.
I heard that's like the place to go.
It is.
Like,
it
if
is
you're
a
an artist.
gorgeous venue.
Yeah.
And the sound is always really well done, and it just keeps getting better because the technology gets better, and the obviously the acoustics of the place stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a fun show, even though it was almost 100 degrees. That was a fun show. It sucked how hot it was. It was 10:30 at night and it was 92 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
Help me out, Nick. How much is that in Celsius?
Just bring one of those like super soaker backpack things.
Oh my God. It was awful. Yeah, it was that was a good show. There's so many just things that keep popping up because I was like, oh, the Bad Omen show that I got to last year.
Yeah.
I got into that one for free because my friend was the merch girl.
Nice.
Like,
oh, that's cool. Okay, so you're the person to hook up with concerts, Kay.
Oh,
got it.
We got some hookups, and Denver is such a spot because it's like the kind of the middle of a lot of stuff. Like, if they're coming from or going to Vegas, they can stop in Denver, and then if you want to either drive or fly to Vegas, driving is only like 12-ish hours from here. Like,
yeah, I wanted to go to the When We Were Young festival because it's sold out like a year in advance normally. So many good bands to that. But so bands that don't come to Canada, Falling in Reverse, Ronnie Radke, like I fucking love him. I will love him forever.
Do you?
My emo day. Oh, like my top artist on Spotify for like the last like 7 years, whether he's an Escapist or Falling in Reverse.
Yeah.
And then Breaking Benjamin never comes here.
Why not?
And there's like some others. They don't. I've looked for years and years and years. They do not come to Canada. I literally will have to come down there to see them.
Okay.
And there's some others, but I'm like, I don't know if it's like a legal thing, if it's a travel thing that they're not able to come, but they just don't. And I'm like, why don't you guys ever come? So I'm coming down to you guys because I need to go. I have to do it.
Denver's a hot spot for sure.
Yeah.
There was a hot spot. I saw Ice Nine Kills with Falling in Reverse last year. That was that same show.
Oh, yeah. It's my dream to see him.
So,
I could probably sing all of his songs, especially the reimagined ones. Like I know them front to backwards, every high note, every low note. Like done. They
are good. They're very enjoyable.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the I don't know, like he as a person, it's hard because like he's kind of a piece of garbage, you know, but like I'm like,
I feel like he acts that way a lot.
He's
I feel like a lot of it is just clapping back at people, but like there is a little bit of roots there when you see him interacting with nice, kind people. He's like the guy from Papa Roach. He is so kind to him.
Oh, Jacoby's nice incredible though.
I know, but like I think he gets a lot of heat and he just doesn't give a fucking claps back at people who insult him. I don't know. You don't know what they're really like. All you see is the public shit.
Of course, yeah. And I do think he's the kind of person to think any attention is good attention kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So he's just like, well, if people associate me with negative shit, I'll just be negative. And
yeah.
So you just kind of like, man, like, I get it because like Jacoby's incredible. I love that dude. He when he like got sober and he on Facebook he does like daily gratitude stuff. It's really nice.
Yeah. I see. Like, I have him on Instagram too. Yeah, he's like, so positive now, and he's like, I love my wife, I love my family, like just positivity, like celebrating other artists. Like he's such a solid dude. Yeah.
And he posted like his kids like football stats one day, and I was like, that's goddamn adorable, because that means he went and he like paid attention, you know?
Yeah. That was super good.
Love the idea of just like being good dudes.
Good dudes. Well, there's another thing for dating stuff is depending on how you act, like all these alpha males want to act a certain way. The alpha males will ask this too, or the alpha males will ask this, and everyone else in chat, who are your male idols? Like your absolute idols where you're like, I love these people. Often you'll get Keanu Reeves, Ryan Reynolds,
always
like
Ryan
The Rock. Like these are all people that like everybody loves, like Jason Momoa. What do they all have in common? Super nice, super funny, love their families, love whoever they're with, don't disrespect anyone. Why do you not want to be that?
Right.
Be that. Like literally. That's advice I could give.
Yeah. I something that like comes up a lot that I found is like men focus on like, well, I'm just ugly, so like that's why I don't get girls. And it's like, maybe that could be like a small part of it, but looks are very subjective, number one. And number two, maybe it ain't you that's ugly. It could be your personality.
Absolutely.
It certainly seems like your personality kind of fucking sucks. Like,
and I feel like there's a lot of people like of any gender that does that. They will, instead of looking at something wrong with themselves, they will find anything to blame.
Oh yeah.
Instead of thinking, what is there that I could do better? It's just like, no, it's because of this. That's what it is.
Right.
Negativity.
Well, and then they like, I don't know if you see this too as a femme presenting person, but like it's almost always like a personality thing. Like it might not be the best looking guy on the planet, like, but they approach you with like genuineness and kindness and like an actual like good attitude, and like you're like, oh well, like yeah, let me give you give you some attention, right?
Yeah, and honestly, like people become more attractive. Like the more you talk to them and the more you end up liking them, they become more attractive to you.
Hell yeah.
100%.
You don't have to, like, people talk about it like, oh well, like girls don't like me because I don't have a six-pack, and it's just like, certain people are gonna like a six-pack, other people don't really give a shit.
I think I've dated like one person with a six-pack ever. It's not a thing.
Doesn't need to be a thing.
I love my skinny little white boys. My rapper skater, probably troublemakers. Like you don't need to look like a jock dude. I actually stay away from gym rat dudes. Like the ones that are like super buff and jock. Like literally, like your tits are bigger than my head. I'm not into that. Other girls love it. It's like the standard everywhere else.
Sure.
Not into it.
Yeah, off of that too, they all get this garbage into their head like looks match. Oh yeah. Oh my god, I was just reading about that. So it's another kind of alpha male shitty thing that's kind of going around. But it's like people will draw these like stupid lines across people's faces and like it'll match with their partner. So it's like, oh, if this person's like, we'll call them a 5 out of 10, then their partner's a 5 out of 10 because their looks are so people like do it to them, and then they like pull out fucking Margot Robbie and they're like, we're the same, you know?
Okay, so first of all, symmetry, which is what that app is going off of. Have you ever seen that thing like this is the average perfect like attractive person, and they take all the faces of attractive people from every country and they mesh it together with AI and come out with this person who isn't even that attractive?
Yeah.
because there's so many like different things and like symmetries on your face, and like here's something weird. Have you ever noticed that people who like get married or like are couples kind of look similar or look really good together? You tend to mimic features you have yourselves. So like I have like a little bit of a wider jaw, and I tend to like people with wider jaws
Yeah.
because it's more similar to my face shape. And that's just like a subconscious thing that you do. So it's like, no, like that's not your match. That is just someone with similar physical shapes to you or genetic backgrounds, because we all come from like a culture somewhere
Yeah.
where the whole society will have the same type of face. That's a lot of matches. So like, yes, you might get along with someone who is also from Canada, or who's also from Scotland as you, or also from wherever.
Right.
That makes sense.
But that is what this new thing is. It's like it's called looks matching, and it's ridiculous because like looks are so subjective. What like you could be a 10 out of 10 to one person and like a 2 to another person, and that's not through any fault of your own. It's because it's not really what I'm into, you know. It's like, no, I'm really into I'm into bigger women, or I'm into smaller women, or whatever it is. Like there is like an overarching culture that tells us to be attracted to certain types of people. But like those people are so, it's I was talking to a kid fairly recently, and he's got a lot of self-esteem issues, and he's like, well, I'm never gonna look like Thor. And I said, nobody's gonna look like Thor.
No, Thor usually doesn't look like Thor. It's usually a bodysuit or like CGI, or he trained for a very long time to look like that.
Right, he trained for a super long time, and then they digitally altered it. Nobody looks like Thor. It's impossible. It's an impossible standard. And I wasn't trying to be like, I don't think you can't work for like a better body if that's what you want. You can work for those things and kind of do some things to alter it a little bit. But like, think about Chris Hemsworth getting to take all the time in the world, 8, 12, 16 months to just train, get every single one of his meals cooked for him, get it all paid for. You know?
And that's the thing too, like, and from a femme like perspective as well, it's like anyone can look like a Kardashian with enough makeup and enough money. But all these celebrities, I would love to show the miracle of light. A modeling trick, if you set off your light, you will see your pores, you will see acne scars, you will see everything on your face.
Oh yeah.
I don't even look like this up close. The way I look right now, it's lights and like magic on the internet, but like, and Snapchat filters or whatever. But like when you're standing this close to someone, like even like Kim Kardashian, whoever, you see all the stuff on their face. Like there's literally people who post that online, being like, this is what they actually look like. They have wrinkles all over the place. They have a zit on their face right now. It's just they blast lights and they do all these makeup tricks, but you don't see it. And it's like and there's plastic surgery and like all these other things, and it's not real. A lot of the time, it's not real.
I love one of my friends who did Suicide Girl modeling and stuff like that. She started doing this thing where she's like, I'm gonna dispel the myths of like, you think I look like this all the time, you know?
Yeah.
So she would post like a set of like 3 photos where it's like this beautifully shot. Everything is smooth, the lighting is incredible, and then she posts like a picture in her with like a big old hoodie and sweats and hair in a bun and no makeup and stuff like that. And she's like,
people do not sleep in makeup and wigs.
No,
doesn't happen.
No, and part of it's like posing and certain things like that. So she did the same thing. She did like, in this picture, I'm posed so perfectly that it looks like I'm fucking rail thin. But the minute I sit back in a normal position, now I got to pooch again, you know? And she's like, and that's okay. She's like, and that's okay. It's normal to have that.
Absolutely. Krim says he doesn't believe in love at first sight, but attraction at first sight. I'd agree with that. I
Hmm.
don't think you can like love someone without knowing them, because like
Hmm.
I feel like you have to know enough about them to know who they are.
Yeah.
Like you have to know who someone is to be able to love them. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. I would say I wouldn't disagree with that either. I think love is a really strong word for a lot of people, but definitely attraction. No, I've definitely seen people and been like, oh my goodness, you know, like that
Yeah.
is a good looking person, you know.
Hmm.
And I do that. I mean, I'll do that with a lot of people, you know. I can recognize a good looking person, but to me, right? So like one of my celebrity crushes, Anya Taylor-Joy, right? Something about her, I don't know. But so like I told my friend that, and he is like, she looks like a praying mantis, dude. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? You know?
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
looks
100%.
being subjective.
Hmm.
That's who do you think is like one of your, like, let's be real about celebrity
Oh
crushes here.
God.
If you hit me with any one of the Chris's, I might just like end this interview right now.
No, so like it's a little hard because I don't really like go for celebrities. Like I'm 100% a personality person. MGK and Travis Barker. Like I really mean it, like skater gangster, like tattooed from head to toe. Like that's kind of my thing. Or like
Ronnie
on
Radke
another
makes a lot more sense now
spectrum.
too. Yeah.
He's like
He's
not so much
covered.
him.
He's
He
covered.
is, but like not the looks thing so much. I'm
Interesting.
trying to think of like someone that's different that I can relate to. Hayden Christensen was one that I always liked when I was younger. That's
Sure.
different.
Sure.
Yeah,
Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah. yeah. Mostly because of the Anakin Skywalker role, but yeah,
Yeah, my sister is the same way.
yeah. I know where he lives in Canada. I'm just saying.
Don't tell anybody.
He has a wife.
Is it Saskatchewan?
No, it's not.
I don't feel like anybody lives. I don't feel like anybody lives there.
No, I've never met anyone from there. It doesn't exist.
I don't think so either.
They're Ohio. It's our Ohio.
It's your Ohio.
That's what everybody says. Yeah.
See, everybody, and like, and my understanding is that Alberta is your Florida.
Alberta's like Texas.
Oh, gross.
It's
That's even worse.
Cowboys, the Calgary Stampede, the oil there. Yeah.
Texas
There's
makes more
mountains
sense
and
too.
stuff, but yeah, so it's kind of more like Texas. BC is like our maybe Florida or California. Like that's like beach rich community. East Coasters, I don't know what you have an equivalent over there. Like we have Maritimes. I don't know if you know what that is. Like it's super chill, relaxed, cottage country.
Oh, that's Maryland.
Love the beach. Sure, let's say that.
That's Maryland.
And then I don't know what's like Toronto's like our New York, I guess. So Ontario's like New York. Something like that. Quebec, what's your equivalent of Quebec? Where like everybody hates them. They want to be different than everybody else and they speak a different language.
No, see, everybody, well, okay. There's hard different dialects in different places. So I don't, like, I'm trying to think of like
Quebec is like attitude-y. Like really, like they have an attitude, think they're better than everyone else. Like that's what they're known for.
See, like New York is
I'm
like that.
saying that because I'm French. But
New
York is like that.
New York has an attitude and like tells you that they're better than you. Or no, maybe like Boston, like Massachusetts, because they have like that like really thick like Mark Wahlberg kind of accent. You fucking co-op, like they have like that very specific accent, right? And it doesn't even sound real because it's like, what did you just say?
Yeah. Does anyone notice an accent from me?
I heard a couple of words.
You heard a couple of words, yeah. I hear words sometimes, but just so you guys know, we don't talk like Saskatoon, talk like that. Make fun of Canada talk, right. That comes from Saskatchewan and like places like that. I've never met anyone who's spoken like that before, but it's fun to hear. I'll agree with that.
My favorite thing specifically is like I know it's not specific to Canada, but hockey bro talk kills me.
I love hearing it. It's great.
It is a
I can't
nightmare
even
to
do
listen
it,
to.
but
It is a nightmare to listen to. But it's like, it's so funny. No, I hear your words just every so often. It's like it's anytime it's like an OT or an OUT kind of word.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to know what I sound like to somebody else.
There was a couple of times you said like oot or like.
I don't hear it. I'm like, no,
okay.
I say out. Like when I'm not, I'm like out.
No, see, now you're thinking about it.
Out.
That's the difference.
But that's how I say it to me. Out and about. Like literally.
Yeah, there was a little
out and about.
There's a little
if I said
lilt.
it fast, I'd be like out and about.
Yeah, see, there's a little lilt there in about specifically.
That's funny. I get nailed for pasta. Pasta, pasta, pasta. I say it different ways all the time and everyone goes crazy.
Pasta?
So there's pasta,
pasta, right?
Pasta, and pasta.
No one says pasta. You're lying.
I am. I make that one up, and everyone's like, "Why are you saying it so funny?" Because I'm doing it on purpose. And they're like, "Let's say it," and I'm like, "Pasta," and they're like, "It's not pasta, it's pasta." And I'm like, "Well, I say pasta sometimes too." And if I say pasta, then they're like, "It's not pasta, it's pasta." I'm very tired of it. I don't even know how you're supposed to say it anymore.
It's so ridiculous.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna read this for Barry.
Oh, do it.
For sure, bud. I was wheeling this rocket the other night, and she was like a pure beauty, bud. Wheel snipe feeling her, boys. I've never even heard that. I don't even know what that means.
That'd be Sellied.
Sellied. Well, I don't even know what the fuck that means. Who the hell says that in Canada? Going for a rip, eh, bud? In a bit.
No, I like the hockey chud talk because it truly is like its own language. I'm like, every word you said was English and none of it made sense.
That's so funny.
Yeah, there is something there. There is something there. It's just a dialect thing. And it's just weird to have like a
I've been told that before. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
He just got that text a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Word for word. Mm-hmm.
It's got that text.
I just be like, what?
Pardon? One more time, please.
Yeah.
I like the I don't know. I something about it feels good. And we have the accents here. Like New York has a very like, if you're specific, but even New York in and of itself has different accents.
Yeah.
New York City has
that
like
happens
its own
in Toronto.
area. Yeah.
Yeah, we get a lot of like the gangster wannabes is what I'm gonna call them.
Oh.
Like in Toronto, especially. Like the one that I hear the most that I always make fun of is like, I want to go smoke a ting. Who are you? What are you? That's not like, you made up an accent from Toronto and you're Canadian. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm from an hour from there. No one talks like that.
That sounded like
it's.
I don't even know.
Like,
what was that?
Yeah, like they're trying to like they're trying to act like a rapper. So like they take on like parts of rappers from wherever they are, and they make up their own terminology that no one understands. And they're just like, yeah, I'm cool. And they mumble. It's like mumble talking instead of mumble rapping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was hacking a couple darts with the boys in this rocket wanted me to reach, but I was like already for to like.
Oh my god! I've also like never heard rocket. I was coughing. Like, why would you hack? That's not even what hacking means. Hacking is coughing. So it's like, why? Like, you were hacking a couple darts, smoking a couple cigarettes.
Right.
Darts is definitely used. If anyone doesn't know that.
Oh, sure.
With this rocket, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Wanted to give me.
It's like a smoke show, like a hot,
but
like a hot person.
All right.
I know rocket.
All right, there, bud. Never heard that in my life.
It's not my language.
It's not my language either. It's not our language. I don't know where it came from.
Listen, you're the one that goes for these alpha males, you said. So
these boys are alpha males. I don't know about that.
I don't know.
It's the worst.
Couple
what
Snipe Sally's
province are you
voice.
from again, Berryman?
Ontario.
Where-ish are you from? In Ontario?
Mm-hmm.
Near Toronto. Or no, you're probably like Northern Ontario. I don't remember. I know I've asked you before.
Just give an example. Like text that he sent like yesterday.
That's ridiculous. I didn't hang out with a lot of the hockey boys, so I didn't hang out with the jocks.
Mm,
It wasn't my thing. That's probably why.
that's fair.
I don't know a lot of people that play hockey. Mhm. North of Toronto, yes, but not far north. Okay. All right. So very close to where I went to high school. This is making sense now.
There's a certain line in Canada that I just like everything north of it I just assume isn't real. Like
It's not. No one lives there. It's
Right.
just trees. Yeah. No, that's accurate. Yeah, pretty much like halfway through one of the lakes, and then there's nothing.
right.
Just snow and trees. That's it.
And you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it might be pretty up there. I would imagine it is, but
If you like mosquitoes, yes.
not in the wintertime. Just cold.
Not in the wintertime. How much do you like the cold and no power constantly?
I can handle some cold.
Okay,
'cause
all right.
I'm a bigger person, and
Yeah.
you can always put on more stuff. It's extreme heat that I don't like.
It's you grow up in Canada and you get to a point where you just really hate snow, because I have walked into town so many times in like literally like snow almost up to my waist.
Mm-hmm.
And just the bitter cold, like when your eyelashes freeze and turn white and you're cold for like 4 hours after you're
Oh, I've
already
done-
inside and feel like your whole body has frostbite. You just never want to see snow ever again.
I've been there. I've
Like,
been there.
Yeah. I'm over it at this point.
Yeah, that we had kind of, at least growing up, our school district, and now they do it all the time, but like growing up they would like, you'd have to see like the 4 horsemen galloping across the sky just to see a snow day, right?
Yeah.
And then but like
Just galloping.
literally you'd have to see like war, pestilence, death, you know, you'd have to see them all and be like, oh my god, I didn't even like, how are we not gonna do this? How are we gonna handle this?
Yeah, Vincenzo loves the cold. He wants to trade places.
I
I would
like
do that
snow
in a
too.
heartbeat.
I like snow too.
Okay, thank you, Vincenzo. Yes, clearly Vincenzo. Yeah,
Yeah, obviously.
thank you for that.
But yeah, that's my thinking, is you can always put on more. You can always put on more stuff. Extreme
But then you're like
heat.
sweating on the inside, but then your face, ears, and hands are cold, and legs, but your body's sweating. That's just the worst time. And then the sweat turns into like a humid cold, and it's that time.
And it seems like you're, according to Vincenzo here.
A pussy ass bitch. All right, just if you guys want to spend 10 years in Canada, come do it. Come do it.
I grew up in Colorado, where it's pretty chilly here. It can be chilly here. We'll say that. It
Yeah.
also got up to 80 the other day. So
Yeah. No,
Uh,
it gets warm here in the summertime, but it's more like I do have photos where the snow is over the telephone poles.
sure.
That has happened. Yeah. It's a lot. And Vincenzo says hi, Trav.
Hey, buddy. And yeah. Well, I have like two more weird questions for you that have nothing to do with each other. And if people have any from the audience, feel free. But don't feel obligated. One was gonna be, what is your favorite, specifically Super Nintendo game?
No, we're gonna have to do a list.
All right, top
We're gonna
3.
have to do a list. Do we have to pick systems here?
No, I'm making the
All?
system call, but top 3
Okay.
in any order.
Okay. Yeah, it has to be any order. Okay, I really love Gauntlet 64. Like we mentioned that earlier.
That's
Like
not
I
Super
love
Nintendo.
Gauntlet. Oh, like Super Nintendo. Okay, hold on. I didn't play a lot of Super Nintendo, but when I did, which Super Mario is it with the Peach one, where she like can float with her dress? Do you know which
Mario
specific one
3,
that is?
I believe.
Okay, so that one. Um, Cruisin'
2.
USA.
Thank you. Was Cruisin' on the Super Nintendo?
I have it. Yeah, I do. And
I feel like I had it for 64.
Donkey Kong Country. Wait, oh, is that?
I thought Cruisin'
64.
I thought Cruisin' was 64.
No, I'll go pull it out right now. I will prove it. Okay, I'm gonna go prove it.
All right.
Y'all want fighting words? Hold on a second. Now we're gonna go like real nerd over here.
Yeah. See the Bluetooth action. See how far away it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll never know.
No, hold on a second.
Was Cruisin'? I thought Cruisin' was 64, but I could be totally wrong about that.
I might have the name wrong. It's Top Gear 2. I lied.
All right.
I absolutely lied.
You heard it here.
I thought it was.
From the dark room.
It's this one.
She lied.
Yeah, from the dark room. I lied. This one. Do you see that?
Top Gear. Okay.
Yeah, that one. I thought it was Cruising USA. It's not. It's very similar though. It's pretty much the same. It was probably like the predecessor, and then oh man, I didn't play a heck of a lot of Super Nintendo. I probably like was Mario All Stars. Is that in there too?
Mario All Stars was on Super Nintendo,
right?
Because that had Mario Bros 1, 2, 3, and 4 on it.
Yeah, like I also like the original like Mario, like with like the Super Smash Bros kind of style with like the turtles and stuff. But I had a Super Nintendo. We did not have a lot of games. Like I was very young, and we didn't have a lot of games. So like I played a lot more N64 up, and then GameCube and DS was like my shit. I have so many GameCube games, it's not funny. And I had a couple like super old school PC games too.
Nice.
Original Nintendo, Bonk. That one's easy. That's like my favorite. Like
Bonk
original
fun.
Nintendo game. Bonk's is super fun.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I played a lot of 64. I had a Super Nintendo, so that was my first ever system. But I actually never had a DS, so I skipped quite a bit of pretty power, or I guess in the nomenclature, very powerful games. I skipped quite a few generations of Pokemon, you know?
Yeah, me too. So Chrono Trigger, never played Chrono Trigger.
Oh shit.
Now I love tactic style games and like turn-based games like that. I have every single Final Fantasy. I have most Square Enix games on DS that are turn-based games, and I never got my hands on Chrono Trigger. I just never heard of it because I just go into stores and like buy up games that were on sale or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are all over the DS. Like that. Those are probably some of the best games. If you ever get your hands on one, just buy every Square Enix game you possibly can for those systems because they're great. Absolutely great.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I could get it now.
We're literally working through Final Fantasy 16, which is definitely not a turn-based RPG by any stretch, but it's still been a lot of fun, and we're very close to the end. Woo-wee.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I played through most of the Final Fantasies, and then now I still need to finish the newer ones on stream. Because I fell off with those, and then Pokemon, like you were saying too, I think I stopped at like Diamond or something, and I let it go because I didn't like this. If I don't like the starter Pokemon, I won't play. I won't bother getting it if I don't like the starter Pokemon, and then I just never got back into it again until Violet. So now I'm playing Violet, and I have Arceus too that I have to play through. So yeah,
Arceus is fun too. Arceus?
However, I don't know. I have no idea.
Is that a Canadian thing? I don't know.
I don't know. Either or.
Yeah, that's fair. I played Scarlet. That was fun. That was fun. And Arceus was fun too. But there is a big point in that game where it's kind of directionless.
It's not. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of open world games when there's no direction. Like I don't play a lot of like Skyrim, Souls, that type games because I love having a path. Go back to the old school way where like you literally are running in one direction. I'm fine with that.
Right.
But it's also the thing they took out of it that I loved the most. You would go into buildings and it was like a dungeon or a cave or whatever, and you could explore and pick things up and talk to people and things would happen. You can't even go in the buildings. There's no buildings. There's no city to explore. That was the fun part.
Yeah.
Like poking around and like looking around and stuff, and it's like gone.
There was I had that problem with specifically Elden Ring. I know people loved Elden Ring, and it was so much fun. It was such a great game, amazing game, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I was like, there is so little direction, and they didn't give me a reason to care.
Yeah.
So like, I don't.
Yeah. And like, so a good example of doing this properly is, did you ever play Alice Madness Returns?
I did.
Okay, so I beat that game twice. Love that game, but what it is you figure out the direction you're going and it leads you on a path, and you still have this massive story. You have all these enemies to battle, all this stuff happens, but you were literally just walking in a straight line through that whole level.
Yeah.
It's great. I had an amazing time with that, and I think they did it very, very well.
Yeah.
But
See, like Bloodborne, which is a Souls game too, right? With like, you think it'd be like that similar open world, but at least in that one, they like kind of funnel you a little bit. They're kind of like, hey, next guy's that way. However you want to get there, but it's that way, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. Like, at least you funneled me in that direction, and I get where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah.
But like in Elden Ring, they just I don't care.
Yeah.
And
I get lost and confused.
It's a huge map.
Yeah.
And then you end up in some place that you're like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And
like you're like way out leveled, and you're like, what? I shouldn't be here.
Yeah. Die in one hit and end up way back at some other lantern that you're like, was I supposed to be here? I don't even. I'm with you. The Alice games were that. What is your second favorite? Your favorite second evolution of a Pokemon? So I'm talking like the Charmeleons or the Wartortles.
Oh, out of like all of them, or just first gen?
Any of them.
Oh.
So those were just what came to mind as the easiest examples.
I know, I'm trying to go through all them. Hold on.
Ivysaurs or your Haunters or your Dragonairs.
Oh no, and like other than starters too, we can't do that. So I had a stream where I did a tier list, and I narrowed down my favorite Pokemon to maybe like 50 to 100. Like I can't even pick my favorite. It's that bad. I'm gonna cop out here for a second. I love Fennekin. I love like Staraptor and Evolutions and Pidgeotto.
Pidgeotto's the second one, yeah.
Yeah, like let's go with some of those, because I can't choose. I'm terrible at making decisions. But like I love birds, dogs, and like fluffy cute things.
Okay.
That's all I can say. That's like an impossible question for me. Yeah, we'll be here all night.
But it does narrow it down quite a bit, because it has to have it has to have at least 3 stages, and you're always picking the middle one.
But like then I'll be like, but this one and this one and this one, I'll just like keep adding more and more, and we'll end up with like half of them.
Well, I'm just saying, like they're
the first one that comes to mind.
First one that kind of comes to mind, or your absolute favorite. You said Pidgeotto, right?
Definitely not my favorite. It's definitely not my favorite.
Okay.
But it's one that comes to mind. Like I can't pick. I really can't.
It is tough.
I know. I would have to like sit here for a year and think about it.
It's just a whole year of just racking the brain.
Yes. Yeah. Like even if you put 2 chocolate bars in front of me, I'm the type of person that will be like, I don't know. I'm going to have a mental breakdown if I don't get both. I have done that with lamps. I have been in a Walmart for an hour and a half trying to decide between 2 lamps. I can't do it. So I brought them both home and returned one once I figured it out. But decisions I'm really bad with. And if I lived in Pokemon, I'd be the one where like, no, I need to collect one of every single one of them that I liked.
Right.
I would have to collect them all. Yeah.
So not
next
your
season,
yeah, not not a Croconaw kind of person, like a.
So Totodile's like my favorite starter.
He is cute.
Don't like his evolutions as much. Love Charmander, don't like Charmeleon as much. So like you picking second, I'm like,
That's part of
I
why the
don't
question
know.
is tougher.
I know. It is
'Cause
very difficult.
that second
Technically, I
stage.
could pick Oh wait, evolutions don't have 3 though.
No, they don't have 3
Yet.
Oh yeah, that's true. I have a feeling they'll be like, this is super Espeon.
Yeah, and I hate that they do that. I don't like that they added so much in the crystal thing and all. Keep it simple.
Oh my god.
Stop making Pokemon into objects and cars. Just make different birds and different fish like a real world an animal, please. That's what we want power.
I absolutely forgot that, or like forgot to use my crystal evolution so often.
Me too. Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah. Even when the game was like, use your crystal, I was like, I don't need to.
Want to.
I don't need to. I'm already its weakness.
Yeah.
Like I'm good.
It's the same with Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like they made it too complicated. I don't need an entire story on the card. I just want to play the game.
Yep. So let me play the game. Yeah, it was so it has to have 3 evolutions, Nick, and it's always I was asking what the favorite second one is.
Yeah. Give yours Barry if you can. It is tough. Like I'd need like a list. I'd have to like look and like really think about it.
Cause like I mean Haunter's a good one. As far as
so everybody loves Ghastly and Haunter and everyone, and like I've never been as big of a fan of them.
There's hella Gengar love though. There's
yeah, it's definitely one of the top, I think, of Pokemon in general.
So like I'm trying to think of like your
I have to Google.
who's your oh my gosh. What's Cyndaquil's second guy?
I'm blanking on his name, but no. Okay, here I have a list.
A list of all the second stages?
Of all the ones with 3s, yeah. So it's Pidgeotto I like.
Mm-hmm.
No, like none of these.
See?
Dragonair is a good one.
I said Dragonair.
Yeah, no, I do like Dragonair a lot.
I like Dragonite because he's a big, dumb, goofy orange dude.
Yeah, like the newer ones, it's like, no. Why are the second ones so shitty? Let's talk about that for a second.
Why do you think the question exists?
I know, but why? Who the hell planned that out?
Because you want to get to the 3rd evolution. That's the point.
Yeah, so they make the second one not as cool.
Yeah, like I don't give a shit about this tiny little chicken thing. I want my Blaziken, you know?
But yeah, Braixen and Frogadier are kind of cool out of that generation. Yeah, all those ones are.
Wartortle's a decent one. I also don't hate Ivysaur.
You do?
I don't hate Ivysaur.
Like I'm not. Yeah. Floragato too. I love my spaghetti. I name my Sprigatito spaghetti all the time because like spaghetti.
Weed cat. Yeah.
Weed cat. The weed instead of grass. No, so Vincenzo, out of any Pokemon that has 3 evolutions, your favorite second evolution form.
So like your Wartortles and your Charmeleons. And your Ivysaurs, Dragonairs. That's why the question ends up being harder, because it's like, but
like they're forgettable.
Sometimes they're forgettable, yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I want to see what he comes up with. I'm curious.
Yeah, are you curious?
It's going to be a form of like Curlia. He has a crush on her, hardcore.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. It's part of it, and I skipped a lot of generations, so there's quite a few
that's the thing. You no nostalgia.
Right.
Yeah. That is correct. Yeah.
I like because Ruby was like one of my favorites. I played the hell out of Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved my Blaziken. Big fan.
I don't let him do it to you. Yeah, I think gold was my number one. I still have the guidebook for gold. So anything with my Totodile in it, that's one of my faves.
That's fair.
Plus, like the cities are fun to go through in that one too.
Yeah, no, gold and silver are fantastic.
Yeah, gambling in Goldenrod City for like a good couple days before you leave.
Oh, it's Luxio, that's a solid one.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I approve.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's tough. But
well, Shankland in general.
But yeah, I was trying to think of another one, but it's not gonna. I mean, because I really like Typhlosion, and both the Typhlosion as a ghost form and also fire. But then they did that same thing with the big old Crocodile or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I feel like they could add more elements, but like I don't actually like when they mix them up as much. Like I really wish they would simplify it down and just have like their one or two instead of like having to do all this extra stuff. Like I loved it simple.
Yeah.
And in its basic form. Yeah. And they're gonna start like mixing it where there's like 4 different spliced versions and stuff. It's I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm nervous for future generations of Pokemon in the sense
Very
that
nervous, yeah.
They have gotten more complicated. You can still try and keep it fairly simple, but there were definitely times I was like, it's pink, so I'm gonna assume it's a fairy, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's a dark type, and you're like, why? Like.
Yeah, and like Pal World came out, and they just kind of gave us the game that we wanted. Like they kind of made it more crafty and stuff like that, but it's like, this is what we want, just like random Pokemon everywhere and like things to explore and battle, and you know, I've thoroughly enjoyed Pal World if you haven't played it.
I have not played it, but I'm not a big craft person in games. Like
I'm not either, but it was so easy to get the hang of. So I usually hate them because I die a lot too, and I can't watch my health bar for the life of me.
Right.
But even in Minecraft, I just die all over the place. But Pal World and Myth of Empires, those were the two that I'm like, you know what? I get the crafting. It's easy. It's straightforward. Not too bad.
Yeah.
And enslave them, yes.
Sure. I don't know. I just, if I wanted a Pokemon ripoff, I'd go with, some Digimon or.
I was also playing Digimon. I still have to finish that. Thank you for reminding me. I
had a Digimon game for the PlayStation 1, and it was like a Smash Bros ripoff, but with Digimon.
I don't know if anyone else remembers this. There was like miniclips.com and like all those games.
Oh yeah.
There was a Digimon PC game way back in the day that was like super difficult.
Really?
But yeah, you could probably look it up and play it if you could get the Flash player to work still. But like, I used to play a lot of those like Neopets. I had a tanked out HTML Neopet store when I was little. That's how I learned how to do HTML code. Going on like DeviantArt and stuff and like looking up HTML codes for like fancy graphics. That was my jam. Yeah.
That was awesome. 100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Neopets as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they still exist. They made a comeback. If you follow their page, they have merch they give away now and stuff like that, and they like revamped it, and you can play some of the old games again. Played them on stream the one day.
Oh.
Just to remind you, Neopets are dying and they're crying and they want you to come back.
I'm gonna cry. That's terrible. It's terrible. I had a blood red dragon.
Go feed your pets.
I was really
Go feed them.
Like trying to like log in at school, getting in trouble for it.
Yeah. Oh, I got in so much trouble for a Tamagotchi too. I have an R2 Tamagotchi now. And I used to get that shit taken away at school all the time. I think we got them banned. Like we weren't allowed to bring them to class anymore.
Oh, we got Pokemon cards banned for the same reason.
Yeah. Yeah. They were ripping off little kids and stealing their cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happened. Same with Beyblades when that came out. People were making metal parts
Oh yeah, they were
and
dangerous as
it would
fuck.
rip them apart. No, it would destroy their Beyblades. So their parents bought them like these $50 parts of plastic toys.
Right.
And someone would bring a metal one and it would just shred and the parts would fly everywhere and it was broken and the parents were like, "What the fuck?" It was, yeah, that was something.
Oh my gosh. That's wild. I can't believe that stuff still exists. I mean, I remember Beyblades being like legitimately dangerous.
Yeah, you don't want to stick your finger in there either.
No,
100%.
you'll actually like cut your fingers up and shit.
Yeah. Wait, what? They're celebrating their anniversary next year? Really? Neopet dailies for anyone who celebrates abusing animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I did all of that.
Oh man, those were. Let's bring back some memories just now.
It does. It does.
Aw.
Simpler times.
Easier times.
Yes. Easier, simpler. Gamed all day without the responsibility part during the day.
Yeah, what's that like? Gee whiz.
Great.
Well, I do want to give you a big shout out. Thank you so much for being here, as a part of our thing here today. This is a ton of fun.
Yeah, I love doing little things like this and like getting to know other communities and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, more. We don't get to talk like this very often.
We don't, and it's partially our parallel schedules here.
Yeah.
But I lurk plenty.
Yes.
I'm not much of a talker in streams as much as I used to be. I don't know when that stopped, but
life gets busy.
I just kind of started looking.
Your background noise. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just kind of support some homies. I'm just like, yeah.
My thing is social media. It's like I shout people out and share things as often as I can when I see it pop up. Like that helps too, right? Yeah.
All I try and do is just be silly on social media. So that's kind of what I go for. At least to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
It works mostly.
Yeah. I need to actually do social media. Like I post, but it's like I took 2 seconds to like put this together because something needs to go on there, and one day maybe I will learn to edit things and actually do something when I'm not busy.
Well, I just always appreciate that you're almost always one of the first likes on a reel that I post. Good.
I'm happy about that.
This is Ferrari's link. And if you're not following Ferrari, you should check that out because there's all sorts of cool stuff on there, including like a Twitter and an Instagram and all sorts of cool stuff.
Thank you, Divine.
Thank you. Of course, just the Twitch page in case you're checking it out. She literally streams 7 days a week.
Yeah, I have no life.
I wasn't going to say that out loud, but...
Blocking your message out.
I didn't block your message.
Because you moved it up.
Oh, did I? That's my bad. Glad I got to be part of this stream. You're both fantastic people. I try and see as much as I can. Thank you. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And you know
Piston unfollowed and followed me. Thank you, Piston.
Perfect. Love that.
Love that.
Thank you for everybody who is here. Thank you for the gifted subs, anything like that. I always appreciate it. The alerts just don't go off during the interviews just to not interrupt them. But I really do appreciate you all for being here. This episode will go up. On YouTube. So be sure to check that out. That's right here. And in case you wanted to see other TravTalks, those are also there. And playthroughs of games and other stuff. All sorts of stuff.
Other stuff.
There's a lot of cool stuff on YouTube. Please, I just want to meet Markiplier. Please. I mean, don't we all? Don't we all kind of just want to meet Markiplier? Just for a minute, you know? And I want to meet him. I want to meet him and be like, why are you so good at everything you've ever done?
You hate those people.
That's not fucking
Like-
fair.
I am bad at many of things.
Yeah, like
Many of things.
yeah, but like you could like you like hand Markiplier a skateboard and he's like, oh, I've never done this before, and then just like does like a fucking like 1080 on a half pipe, and you're like, what the fuck, man? It's like, I don't know, I stepped on it. God. Be bad at something. Just blow it just once, like just drives me crazy. But yes, follow the YouTube so you can check out this episode. It will go, the whole VOD will go up here in probably a week or so. And if you want to check me out, which I would love to do, feel free to check out the Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm so funny other places, and not here ever. Just to be, it's not even a thing. And then if you're not into that, go to Discord. I post memes there so you can steal them and put them other places and be like, look at this meme I made.
Yeah, and Berryman wants me to do a backflip. If you would like to see me smack my head off 5 things consecutively somewhere in this room, that's how that backflip would happen. Yeah.
That's
most likely.
That'd be a heck of a time. But would you like to rate us out, Miss Ferrari Fire?
Let me see if I have someone.
I also have
you might
quite a few people, but feel free to lead us, or I will take us somewhere.
I will just type this in chat. These are some wonderful people that I think you would love to learn. So I can't. XO. They are streaming right now. They also stream every single day. They actually had like one of the longest running subathons on Kick. So they just never stop. They film like their whole lives and are just super genuine, nice, funny human beings. Oh, sorry, not pets, cats. My bad.
Oh.
That is an A, not an E. My bad. I just can't type right now. It is that.
Trey Cat.
XO.
Okay, I found them. Are they live right now?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Just saying that they are.
They're
playing some Final Fantasy.
Yes, they are. Perfect. Okay. We'll do that. So, you're doing great. You're doing awesome. You're doing amazing. If you are sticking around for the raid, feel free to use my raid emotes, your own raid emotes, Ferrari's raid emotes. I don't give a shit. As long as you let them know that Super Trav and Ferrari sent you. And we will raid into Trey Cat XO. Let's frig frag and do it once again. Trey Cat. There they are.
And thanks very much, Barry. We'll talk to you soon. Good night. Good night.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being a part of this. And like I said, we'll see you all very soon. I'll be back on Sunday. I'm sure Ferrari will be on tomorrow, or maybe even tonight. Who knows? Just like, I'm live right now.
It's a little late.
Is it for you?
Start right now. It is almost 2:00 in the morning.
I know.
So to
For
start
you,
now,
though?
I'm trying to have a sleep schedule. A little bit.
Attempting.
Sometimes failing.
It's worth the attempt.
Worth the attempt. Yeah.
Thank you once again, Miss Ferrari, and we will see
Absolutely.
you on the other side. Bye,
Thank you for having me.